Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Rayom can help.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
There's just one place to celebrate our happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Plus last chance savings on a 2024 RDX. $379 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines. There's just one place.
It is the Squared Circle Digest. I am Sean Stanley, and that is the great Frankie Fresco. Frankie, how we doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I am fantastic, man. How about them FSU Seminoles, huh?
Yep.
Came through for you again.
Well, no, we knew they were going to lose. I was just wishful thinking.
It was very wishful thinking. But we are here to talk a different kind of ass whooping. We're here to talk professional wrestling. A little WWE and a little AEW. We're trying some things new here on the Squared Circle Digest, so please do not act on us for any of the discretions that we're going to have. We're trying some new backgrounds, new basically format, new different things that we're trying here today. We'll see how they go. If you like them, please comment. We thank you for following along, either on the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel or, of course, on the Frankie Fresco YouTube channel or the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel and the Facebook page at Stanley Media House Network or on Twitch or X. Wherever you're following along, we greatly appreciate you. And Frankie, real quick.
Yes, sir.
We did the Friday show, so we really covered a lot on the Friday show. Not a lot has happened. There was a pay-per-view, which we'll discuss a little bit about, and Chad's in already in the thing, and so is my dad. Appreciate you guys.
So, guys.
Always being in there. Your thoughts right now, today, if you had to rank the companies, and I wasn't even thinking of this, but I just thought about it right now on top of your head. I guess the companies after WWE. Personal opinions, of course. How do your rankings go? Who's 2, 3, or actually Raw, SmackDown. So we'll go who's 3, 4, 5.
Are we still considering NXT?
Yes.
Okay. They're not part of WWE, right?
No, that's why I said Raw, SmackDown as the top 2, and then we'll do, and we're throwing in, the other TNA, MLW, New Japan, AAA, whatever else you want to throw in. yours right now on your level of excitement, I guess. Not necessarily on how it's portraying out on TV, not ratings, not anything else other than what tickles the fancy of Frankie Fresco. What is the triple F? Frankie Fresco's, what is it?
I would say I would rank NXT after Raw and SmackDown, and then after NXT, obviously I would put Dynamite, and then probably after Dynamite, it would most likely be the TNA Thursday night shows that I see. That's kind of like the rankings that I have as of now. And those are kind of like if I had to watch wrestling and have them like listed, that's kind of like the way I've been looking at it recently. So Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and then AEW. Um, I don't watch Collision, so that's a
Yeah,
waste
yeah,
of
no, I
time.
wasn't even thinking
And
Collision.
I don't. I we did watch Rampage together.
You made me watch Rampage for 30 minutes.
It was good. Our boy Mortos was there, so that was fun. I enjoyed that match. But
Yeah, you enjoyed it way too much. I mean, way too much.
oh
Man.
look, there's only
Go
one
down
reason.
as well. How you doing, sir?
There's only one reason why I might tune into Collision or into Rampage, and that is the Beast Mortals. He's the only reason. Everybody else, not even hologram, not even hologram. So, just letting you know. But yeah, that's kind of, and not to mention hologram is hurt right now, so we're not gonna see hologram anytime soon. But that's kind of like I don't get a chance. I see a little bit of New Japan wrestling from here and there, but it's not enough for me to go ahead and put them above, NXT or Dynamite or anything like that because I just don't take the time to actually watch that. I see highlights left and
Yep.
right,
Mhm.
but I just don't get a chance to watch it.
And also, speaking of injuries, thoughts, prayers go out to Chris Bay. He was injured at the TNA tapings, as well was Vikingo again, going out to the outside. It looks like his leg got caught up under him. Don't know how serious the Vikingo injury is, but the Chris Bay one seems to be pretty serious. He actually had surgery already. So thoughts and prayers go out to him and everything there. So today we've got topics.
We do.
Yes, we do.
Are we in?
Oh, Frankie,
Can you hear me now?
I got you now. Yeah, yeah.
Are we like in flames? I saw blue flames.
We are in a neon type flame going around our pictures. Yes,
Oh, good. Did you put me yellow because of AEW? I appreciate if you did.
I did. But you know what's funny is I didn't even get to say mine. I'm actually more intrigued right now. And again, I'm going off of, by where they are right now. I am really, and we're going to talk about it later on. AEW's got some things going for me. I kind of have them right now at number 3 and NXT a close 4. Because for me, NXT, yes. And what's funny is it's kind of changed around for me. I think NXT is starting to deliver more on the pay-per-views and a little less on their weekly show.
All right, let me ask you something. Because I wasn't too fond of this. What do you think of Busted Open, Dave LaGretta, and Bully being now included in NXT? Obviously, I believe they signed a contract with them.
That's gonna be talked about in our second segment there. If you see it on the board there, the NXT ECW Arena show.
Okay.
Look at that! Look at that! I'm trying to make some.
You are trying. I'm trying. Different.
I did 15 hours of labor here today. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh wow.
I did about an hour.
And shout out to Finch TV. I see you, Terry. Official memo. What's up, guys?
Finch TV's in?
Yeah, I see him. He says, "What's Dynamite?" Just kidding.
I thought he was on a show today. He starts at 8. We started earlier because originally we were going to start at 8. He had asked me about the show. We were going to start at 8. We ended up starting at 7:30. Mimo is in. Sammy, appreciate you, my man. And of course, Terry as well. I don't know why my EA Minutes has joined the conversation. He's back. The unofficial third member of the broadcast team. He's our Tony Schiavone.
Whoa. I heard you know what's funny? Who was it? I heard somebody say it like when it comes to Tony Khan and Aaron Rodgers, who's more delusional between those two. I found that kind of funny that they both actually do kind of same kind of delusional one or the other. So that's funny that you use EA as Tony Schiavone because he is part of He is our third unofficial member here.
He is. And sorry, I'm sending out a retweet. For some reason, it didn't pop up until apparently you guys shared it. I don't know.
Finch TV, I gotta ask you, man. Sammy, do me a favor. Let me know when you're free. I might we might have to talk. I wanted to talk to you about possible event, an AEW event if you're down. I don't know if Sean is gonna be able to come with me to the live pay-per-view. So I might as well put it out there. Obviously, I got tickets. I don't. I obviously I want Sean to come, but I think Sean might be able to get some other stuff. So Sean, we'll talk about that off the screen, I guess. But if it doesn't work out, I do have a third ticket. So I'm looking. I'll probably be looking for somebody else who would like to come with us to the AEW pay-per-view
World's in Orlando.
In Orlando in December 28th. So my brother kind of sold me out. Sean looks like he's gonna. I don't know, Sean. Sean, are you coming or are you gonna? Are you working?
I'll be there. I don't think I'll be using the ticket though.
There you go. So I have an extra ticket. It looks like so. Most likely, I will have to. I have to find somebody who wants to.
And I believe we already have a broadcast set up. By the way.
Yes. You did mention something about.
I'm hoping the other part comes through so that I don't go all the way to Orlando to do a show to drive all the way back home.
Chad, that's another individual that might be interested. Chad, let me know. Maybe we could do something.
I mean, he just set up here in the other part. You know, let's not let facts get in the way of a good story here. Appreciate you guys. I know I've been in and out these last few months. This job and damn kids messing up all my priorities. But he's going to get away to go to Orlando for an AEW pay-per-view. You almost sound like Tony Khan.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go to that.
Did I put that up there?
What?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. It threw me off. I guess when you hover over, I can see underneath. I thought it was on our live show, and it wasn't. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Again, guys, don't mind us. We have... I love the new format. Yes, Fifth TV. We're working on it. That's why,
buddy.
That's why you see a couple little, hiccups here and there. So
it's so odd. Like StreamYard was. I'll pull the curtain back. StreamYard is very basic. It's you hit the thing, it pops up. Yeah, you have to do a little bit. Whereas this one is everything, and you'll see the difference in between. Because I thought I got ahead. Of everything. I set up all the slides with your camera. Here's the only problem. I guess because I sent a new invite, a new camera came in. So now all those are void. I got to keep putting you in each time.
Amazing. I love it.
It's fantastic, buddy. Yes, the official Kane Fireboarders are on. That's our new thing. That's going to be our thing.
Look at that. Look at the people noticing the detail.
Yeah. And we're going to be bringing in the wheel of fun. We're going to use a shit ton, by the way. But I want to do this. Since you're in the chat and everybody's watching us right now, send us topics. We're going to put on the wheel, and at the end of the show, we're going to spin the wheel, and whatever topic it lands on, we're going to have to talk about it. Duplicate him and paste. Oh, shit. Look at this guy. Sending out tips in the middle of the show. I love you, Sammy. I love you, buddy. Thank you.
Hey, yeah, exactly, Chad. That's the reason why we have made the move to the other platform because, yes, they did spike it up.
Spike it up, man. They doubled that shit.
Yeah, and then obviously this one gives us a little bit more liberty to broadcast in different platforms more than StreamYard. So it guys. There's a lot to it. Sean is definitely amazing when it comes to producing. So,
so my grandson Kai's watching. So Kai, Grandpa loves you. All right.
So just Frankie is still learning. As of right now, let me talk to you. For Wednesday, we'll still be on StreamYards. I'm working on it, but I still have that for at least about a month. So I'll probably be using StreamYards for that. But then I'll probably be moving on to this new platform as well. So you'll probably see some new stuff on my show as well, so just letting you guys know. So
no, definitely. I mean, this is going to be as we get better Look at that. Look at No Doubt. Already got the topic up there. I like it.
That's one. We could talk. We definitely want to talk about
Yeah.
that. Hopefully, he lands on that.
Well, we will not have the wheel this week. We need the topics this week so that we can have the wheel for next week. So.
Oh my God! But Sean, you need to specify this to the people, because if the people didn't know, I thought you were going to talk about it right now. I thought you were going to.
How am I going to circulate the wheel right now with topics that they're giving us now?
I don't know. You made it seem like that's what they were going to do. That was what you were going to do. But okay, never mind.
I don't know. If we have enough time, I'll try to populate the wheel as I'm talking here. The first thing I wanted to talk about and was the bloodline and where they're heading with that.
You mean the F up of the bloodline, right?
The F up of the bloodline. Go ahead. The floor is yours, sir.
All right, so let's talk about this crappy storyline when it comes to the bloodline. Number one, it's ridiculous how WWE keeps making the bloodline so weak.
The bloodline 2.0, so weak.
The bloodline 2.0, yes. I don't get why it looks like in the past year, Triple H's storylines have drastically become from like really awesome to now like, hey, I'm just getting it done and that's it. Like, it's so terrible how the bloodline has demolished the bloodline 2.0, and you expect the fans to be invested and excited about this match when the bloodline 2.0 has been getting their asses kicked the whole time. Look at Monday night. You had Jimmy and Jay beat 3 of the guys of the bloodline on the ring. Like, how does that make any sense? It's dumb. It's bad. It's bad storytelling. It's not.
I disagree with that because, again, you can't leave them laying every week though either.
But you can't put 2 to get over 3 like that either, because this is not the first time.
Tonga and Tongaloa, which are I don't even know why they're there, but they're there to be the beat up guys. And then you saw them have to, 2 super kick each, and then the third one was a double super kick.
Yeah, that's
Fatu out of the ring, still landed on his feet and stayed strong.
Did it really stay strong? You got 2 guys who just knocked out all 3 of the guys right there on the ring.
Well, they only got Jacob Fatu out of the ring.
It doesn't matter. You still were able to go ahead and knock 3 guys out with just 2 guys. So what is your?
What makes the ring? You didn't pin them. You didn't beat them. You didn't. It'd be different. I think that changes it for me. If they would have went in there 3-on-2 and won the match, then I would say yes, you're 100% correct.
Sean, if we're in a fight, if we're in a dog fight, you and me, and we're going against.
I'm leaving your ass. Screw that, buddy.
All right, so then let's say, for example, me and Finch TV. Me and Finch TV are in it because Sean is telling me out.
He's leaving you too, buddy.
Finch TV got my back.
Oh no, nobody's got your back, man.
And then all of a sudden, I
always got your back. By the way,
all of a sudden, I got you, EA Minutes. I got you, EA Minutes, and No Doubt, all 3 of you guys coming at me and Finch TV, and we kick all 3 of you guys' ass out of the ring. Exactly. You see how you're laughing? Because it's true. Why would 2 guys?
You're talking about me, DJ Memo, and EA Minutes. We're not.
No. I didn't say DJ. Why are you insulting No Doubt? I didn't put Memo on there. I said No Doubt, EA Minutes, and you. I didn't.
I'm sorry. I said Memo in the thing, and I automatically. All right, sorry. So No Doubt, myself, and EA Minutes.
Yeah, you guys 3, and then me and Finch TV are there, and we are able to whoop all 3 of you guys out of the ring. Does that make any sense? Considering considering that would be something. That would be something if we were able to do that.
What is the end? Like, because again, this happens at the beginning of the show. Then they run into Sammy, and it's like, well, Sammy's going to be a member of us, but he talks to Jay and is like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this again? What is going on? Then fast forward to the end of the show.
Whoa. Hold on.
What?
You skipped something very important when that conversation between Sammy and Jay.
Yeah.
Sammy was saying, "Why did you get involved and all that stuff?" And at
He
the
said
end, what
family
what
is
did
not
Jay
the
say?
thing.
What did Jay say to him?
You're not family.
Okay, but he says a key word during that conversation. He said something. He used the word blood, right? I
Yeah.
think I
No, no,
believe he
I
said
think he's saying you're not. Yeah, you're not family. You're not blood or something
you're
like
not
that.
blood, so you wouldn't understand, right?
Mhm.
But let me go back. What was it when Jey Uso went against um the tribal chief?
Mhm.
Who was the one that came masked up and betrayed Jey Uso?
Jimmy Uso.
Isn't that blood?
Yes,
Isn't
but
that
blood.
family?
Yes, but the way they look at it is, you know how like the whole adage of you're gonna fight with your family, but it's different.
Yeah, but you're contradicting the
Different.
whole story because you're making it seem like him, Jay, and Jimmy have this bond that it's irreplaceable, but yet they've betrayed each other before, and then you're telling Zammy, hey, look, you don't understand it because that's my brother, that's my family, but your family has betrayed you. So like, why? Of course, Sammy understands because how can that be blood? How can that be family? Once a family member betrays you in that type of form of fashion, why are you going to trust that family member? He's no longer part of your family. I
Yeah,
mean, he is family, but you're not going to trust him like that anymore.
yeah, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true, man. You have the blinders on. You have people that have blinders on and everywhere where they're like, oh, okay, all right, it won't happen again. They won't do it again. And what happens? They always do it again, but you put on the blinders and you say, okay, it's not going to happen again. And that's the one thing, like where it is wrestling. Yeah, that's that.
No,
Very
now
true.
you're making it. You're
No,
making
now
it.
quit making sense, man. Quit making sense of this all.
I'm trying to tell you how we can relate it to actual, like, if
Yeah,
he's
but I think
bringing a
there's still
family
the
and
people that don't learn. And ultimately, like, I think the funny part about this is, I said it last week, is I feel like the end, not end game, but one of the end roads of this whole thing is to get the whole bloodline back together with Solo, Roman, the Usos, and maybe Sammy at some point. Like, I feel like that's where this is going to end up. How they get there, they can make it as long as they want to in a way, because you saw a little bit of it last night. Jimmy goes to look, and then Jay comes out and is like, hey, you talk, and you're like, shh, look. And it's Sammy, supposedly looks like, again, optics, looks like he's sitting there talking to Solo Sikoa in the Suburban. What's he saying or what was being said? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like at some point it comes down to, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And that's kind of where this is going in a way.
I just don't see Sammy joining the Bloodline 2.0. He's always going to be in the Bloodline.
Oh no, yeah. I would think that. Yeah.
So
But
also
I think
all,
they're going to play the long game to get there because
but that's
again,
boring.
if anybody has seen the spoiler,
That's too
what happens on
predictable.
SmackDown.
But that's too predictable, Sean. We've already spoken about this. I've already mentioned this a couple times that this is all predictable.
Yeah, but
All this
what
stuff we
would be
see.
unpredictable? What, to bring The Rock in as the fourth person? Like,
No, because
want to
obviously that
happen?
would be predictable
It's a
too.
story, man. I mean, I don't know what you want. If you're reading a novel
I want
and you
some
understand the
surprise.
novel, you're going to start seeing little things. Maybe there's a surprise here and there, but what would be the big surprise?
You got Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and joins the Bloodline 2.0 and brings a fifth member. That way they could have it at Survivor Series.
No.
Because right now you have five. Obviously, the five people are going to be Jay and Jimmy, Roman, Zammy, and most likely Cody Rhodes. Those are going to be the five. That's what I've been hearing. That's what some of the other podcasters have been saying as well. That those are the five. On the other opposite side, they had Solo, Tamatonga, Tongaloa, and Jacob Fatu. And then they don't know who the fifth person is going to be because The Rock has not agreed to be available for Survivor Series. So they're still trying to figure out. It might be one of the other one of the other family members making a debut, but that would be dumb. That, like, we already saw how Jacob Fatu is probably he's like the strongest one from the bloodline. Not even Solo is that strong anymore. And to bring another one of those guys over, it's just predictable. You need something that spices things up and you'll get an investment from your hardcore fans. Now, your I know they're not going to be catering to the hardcore fans. They're going to be catering to whoever wants to watch the show, which is fine. You're gonna go ahead and hear everybody go ahead and see like, oh, this is great, this is awesome. They'll cheer for the fans at the arena will cheer for them, and then they'll go on with their next story. But everything's just too predictable on my end. Where has wrestling gone where we're not working on making things like suspenseful? We don't where why are we not why are these storylines being so like easily done? Like I don't see the effort. I don't see the act of trying to, make us keep guessing what's gonna happen next. We don't know. They don't do that anymore. Everything's so predictable. It's
But
starting to be a little bit boring for me, bro.
you have to remember, this thing's been going for almost 3.5 years now.
I understand. And that's another reason why that you
Well, I
need
mean,
to throw some
what is
suspense in here.
going to be the big suspense, though?
I just gave you.
You have seen basically the characters. There's not many other bloodline members. Okay, Zilla Fatu, Hikuleo. Who else?
That's why I'm telling you. You don't have to bring those guys. I say you could go ahead and have Paul Heyman backstab
Yeah, I don't
the
think
bloodline.
that's
And that way you could turn it around is because Paul Heyman is gonna be like, they're gonna be like, how in the world is Paul Heyman backstabbing the bloodline if uh Bloodline 2.0 threw him through the table and pretty much knocked him out for how long he's been gone. And then all of a sudden, he comes back as a heel and he's like, you know what, they knocked some sense into me. They told me and showed me and realized that I needed to turn, and I never got Roman. I never had Jimmy. I never had Jay. I never had Zammy. I never had anybody come and help and protect me. That's when I found out that the loyalty is not with the bloodline, but the loyalty is with Bloodline 2.0 because they knock some sense into me. And then what happens now that you have Paul Heyman on their side? He could bring whoever he has worked with before and bring it as a fifth member. So you don't have to.
I already know where you're going with that, and just don't say the name.
I'm not gonna say. I'm not
They
gonna
already
say.
put it in the chat, and I was just like, oh,
I know. Brock Lesnar is not. He's not in the stories. They're not planning to bring. I would love to have him, but obviously, I don't think they would do that. I think WWE
Yeah,
wants
but
to
see,
stay away
you're
from Brock Lesnar.
kind of the problem with everything that goes on. Like everybody
problem?
thinks, yeah, because why does every week or every month there's got to be a surprise?
I'm
Why
not saying there has to be a
does it have to
surprise.
be-
I said on this storyline that has been dragging for
Why?
4 years.
Why? They still have the layers of where does Sammy go? Who's Sammy with?
We already know where Zammy is with.
How do we know who he's with?
He's not gonna go and freaking go with the Bloodline.
He's saying no, but what if that's the big surprise?
I doubt that they
Because
do that.
of what Roman did to him, what Jimmy did to him. Now he feels Jay's betrayed him.
Well, if they do that, then that'd be great.
But again,
be amazing.
We don't know what they're doing, and we're sitting here saying, "Oh, this is boring. This is what they need to do." There's nothing, but there is stuff if you actually look at it and you try to dive into it and not just be like, "Oh, they got to do something different."
This is
slowly doing something different. You don't know. Look, I get it with the spoilers and everything. We know what happens next week on SmackDown, and we know what's going to happen at Crown Jewel. We know the match. But what happens during that match? Can Jay really trust Roman? Can Roman trust Jay? Can Jay trust Jimmy?
Come on, Sean.
Like we sit here and we say all this stuff, but those are little things that are going in that you just sit there and go, no,
they're not going in because
for the Civil War for Survivor Series, so there can be no little things. But
they're not going. They're not going that route, man. Because right now everything is like, okay, you know how sometimes, like, look at the Judgment Day, right? And I don't see it on the breakdown, so this is good. The Judgment Day, you saw how Finn Balor all of a sudden now was questioning JD McDonough and saying, "Hey, I thought we were focusing on a tag team belts and all that stuff," and you bring that little doubt, right? they could do that with the bloodline, but you don't see that right now with Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. You don't see that with Roman. So you assuming in your head, you painting these ideas saying, oh, we don't know if Jey can go ahead and betray Jimmy or Jimmy betrayed Jey or Roman betrayed Jey and all that stuff. That's all your assumption. But what they've been telling us is literally, yo, we're a family, we're blood, we're sticking together. And that's the concept. Now, obviously,
where have they stayed together through this?
no, right now, that's what they're selling us right now. Right now is what they're selling us is that we're stuck together, that we're back together, we're number one. There's no doubt that, hey, will Roman turn on one of these guys or anything like that?
As you said, I'm assuming all on my side, you're assuming that as well, just because of that's being said or being looked at.
That's what they're showing us.
What they're showing us. But how do you know in the back of Jay's head, he's not going, I can't trust these guys. I know what they've done for me. I know this guy cost me the belt. I know this guy did this.
Because they have not gone ahead and given us like the little nuggets here and there, showing us, like, for example, the Finn Balor situation where Finn Balor was looking just those little moments when you're like, damn, okay. So now it doesn't mean he has to be doing it throughout leading up to Crown Jewel or leading up to Survivor Series, but just bringing those doubts every once in a blue moon.
What Jimmy said to Jay, and then Jay was kind of looking like,
Yeah, but he was talking about Sammy.
Yes, but it goes back to the whole thing. Like he says, I told you we can't trust Sammy. And he kind of looked at him like, can I trust you? And then he looked at Sammy.
He did not say, can I trust you?
I said he looked at him like.
He didn't look like he could do that.
He looked at him like.
You're assuming these things, bro. No, he never said that. He was doubting Sammy. That's what he did.
First off, read my look. Watch my lips. Understand the words coming out of the mouth.
I understand the words that are coming out of the mouth.
He said anything about it.
Okay.
The look to me said that. That's what I said. The look, his face, the facial, the eyeballs getting a little bit wide.
You like to overthink things. You like to overthink things.
I do, and you sit there and think it's simple.
It is, because that's what they've been showing us this whole time. Simple stuff. Everything has been predictable.
No, it's not. It's not, bro. Okay. All right. You're right. You're right.
No.
Right.
I'm not right. I mean, there's no right or wrong. There's just two different opinions. You're assuming that they're making it spontaneous.
You're the only, you're like, oh no, this is what's happening. It's simple. It's this and that. It's not that simple, bro. If you actually sat there and watched the show instead of a simpleton and like, oh, well, we know the Civil War is coming on Survivor Series, so they can no longer be able to betray each other because thou knows on Survivor Series, they're going to be a team. So I already know that. So the next 5 weeks, I hope they can surprise me a lot because I already know what's going to happen.
I hope they could make it.
If I told you the Dolphins are going 17-0, you're going to watch every game?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because I'm a loyal Dolphin fan, the same way I'm a loyal wrestling fan.
Are you really? Because you watch it, you're watching it as Survivor Series. We know what the match is. So now you guys try to surprise me and make me think that that's not the match. Well, that's not fair. It's not fair.
Of course, it is fair. There's the act of predictability, and you understand that what everything is happening. It's taking it's they're not making it seem like, hey, it is spontaneous. They're making it seem very predictable. Here's the line, and let's follow the line. That's all they're doing, and it's simple storylines. Okay, now let's bring Zammy. Okay, Zammy's gonna go ahead and oh, what a surprise! He's talking to Solo, and here comes Jimmy going ahead and talking to Jay. Hey, you can't trust Zammy, bro. And then Jay is like, oh, maybe I can't trust him. Yeah, sure, you can't trust him. The guy, you just spoke to him maybe about 20 minutes before, and the guy was telling him, hey, man, don't get involved in this stuff. I this and that. It just seems very boring, in my opinion. I'm still gonna watch. I'm still loyal to wrestling. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna not watch it, because I love wrestling just like I love my Dolphins. But at the same time, it's like, for me, it's not selling me. It's not making me want to go ahead and be like, damn, I gotta watch Monday Night Raw at the moment that they're taping it. No, I could just go ahead and DVR it and then watch it the next day. Am I gonna miss out on anything special? No, because I don't.
You say about every show,
huh?
You can say about every show.
You could You could
I
say
mean,
that on certain shows, yeah. I mean,
every show. There's not one show where I have to sit there and be at the TV to see what's going to happen.
and
None.
that's the problem. That's the problem for us. For the casual fan, they'll just watch. But for us who are hardcore wrestling,
See, but also the other thing too is that like even if you don't watch it, you can watch the show now on your phone. Like you don't have to sit there and be and half the shit you're finding out about live shows over social media now. So you don't even have to know. Like that's the thing too now is like before you used to have to watch the shows because I wouldn't know what's going on in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
true. But here's my thing, Sean. Remember when The Rock came and they were hyping this whole WrestleMania up, and it was Roman versus The Rock, right? And then all of a sudden, the people felt like, "Yo, Cody got cheated," and it looked, and then the WWE ran with it, and then they had the little, scuffle in Las Vegas where The Rock slapped Cody and all that stuff. We were invested because this wasn't something that was being predicted. This was spontaneous. This
But
was
at the
something
same
that nobody
time,
was
that wasn't even
expecting.
something that they had planned.
But that's
They went organically. Right now, what is going on where you're going? What are you going to petition for them to have Paul Heyman turn on him? Because that's the only way that it's going to like. There's not a lot that moment that can happen in this. Like that's what I'm trying to get to. It's like you're hoping for something that just doesn't exist to me.
No.
There's nothing you can do unless
you could do. But
the thing they're going to try to do is probably insert Rock in the match, and that's going to be a return on investment, which I don't think is a good idea.
They're not going to do that because he's not there. He's not available, dude. He's not available right now. We already know that. They're struggling right now to find out who the fifth person is. And if they come and they give us Zilla Fatu or one of the other guys coming in, that is so boring. It's like, oh, great, another one of these guys. And it's not a wow moment for me. What about if they lead up to Survivor Series, right? And then Solo and all them are like, look, we have our fifth member, but then they don't reveal the fifth member until the day of the pay-per-view. So every time you're selling Survivor Series, you have the four of them, and then you have that little black image of a dark person, and they don't know who it is. And it still spices it up. It still brings you with the idea of like, wait, hold on a second. Who the hell can it be? And you lead up to it because you're going ahead every show. You could talk about it, and you've seen this happen. This is repetitive in wrestling. So just doing little things like that.
If you do it that way, that person has to be a freaking Brock Lesnar.
No, because remember, again, what I told you, the story that I had planned. You have Paul Heyman turn, and people do not know. And then as when Paul Heyman shows up and he turns, all of a sudden Roman Reigns is like looking at everything. It's like, what the hell is going on? And nobody can believe that this just happened. Again, the act of surprise. You don't know what's going on. And we still keep the shows leading up to the live events relevant and still intrigued. Hey, I still want to watch because they're going to give me nuggets. Kind of like, look, I always criticize.
If Paul Heyman turns on him, who's the fifth guy? Who's the fifth guy that you can tease like that to where you're going the night of the pay-per-view and they announce the fifth guy? You're like, oh, yes. Because no matter who it is, if it's not one of those OMG guys, you're going to be like, these fucking guys suck. Triple H sucks. He didn't deliver what I thought he was going to deliver because he put a black object on the screen showing that we don't know who the fifth guy is. And now he didn't deliver who I wanted, so he sucks. And that's setting up for failure.
Again, you could bring anybody that is related to Paul Heyman, anybody he has some type of ties with.
So you're telling me in the Bloodline 2.0, it's Brock Lesnar, it's CM Punk, it's anybody from ECW? Are we going to bring them back in?
Depends if you want to bring one of those guys in. Sure. Why not? Somebody
Sabu?
different. Somebody who is actually still capable to hang. I don't think Sabu is capable.
But I'm asking you, if that was the case in your scenario.
But Sean.
But what I'm asking is this, though, Frankie. Seriously, though. If you're the booker and you do that, like you said, who would you like to see the fifth guy be? Because
I gotta work. I gotta look at the history. I gotta look at what Paul Heyman brings, like interactions. I have to do my homework. I can't just give you an answer right away. I'm giving you an idea, but that doesn't mean I don't get paid to be storyteller. So
exactly,
I'm just
I'm saying,
an
but
idea
that's
to
where,
work with.
like, I just feel like that's grasping at. That's telling me that you really don't have a plan. Your plan was not laid out,
Sean, I'm
and
not.
now you're
I'm
trying
not
to make.
because
No,
you're.
but what I'm
This
saying
is
though is
the
if
problem.
they started doing that, to me, it would be like, wait, you have told us this has been laid out like this. We're at what is third inning or whatever a while ago, so now we're probably like the fifth inning, and now we're changing it to where this is what we get to where we're teasing to who the fifth person in a Civil War Survivor Series War Games is. We're not going to tell you who it is because
Yeah.
that's the surprise.
Yeah, definitely, man. And not only that, I mean, look, if you want me to think out, because this is the problem. If I give you an idea, you always come and tell me, "Well, what's next, Frankie?" I'm like, "Hold on a second. I'm just throwing out ideas. I haven't written it down. I'm not writing down storylines. But again, you want me to just come out of my head and think about it? Okay, I could go ahead and say, okay, you know what, Paul Heyman has. Hold on, you want me to throw ideas, right?
Yeah, let's
Because
do it.
because you're throwing it out there, so
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm just gonna wing it like the Yankees right now,
We're
striking
not
out.
winging nothing. Or the Yankees ain't doing nothing.
But they're winging it. They're trying to wing it out, and they're swinging and
They're
missing left and
winging.
right.
We're
So
winging. That's it.
I'm gonna swing something out there.
All right.
I remember
Oh,
Paul Heyman had an interaction with Braun Breaker when Braun Breaker came. Braun Breaker went ahead and fought against, if I'm not mistaken, Jey Uso and beat him. And then you had that face to face between Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu.
mhm.
Surprise guest. Paul Heyman comes. He brings the fifth member. The fifth member is Braun Breaker. And everybody's surprised because everybody says, how is Braun Breaker going to be the fifth member? If he has no ties whatsoever to the bloodline, he probably was going to fight Jacob Fatu, but now all of a sudden he's part of it. And that brings mystery. That brings suspense. Nobody knows. And then all of a sudden you could twist it and turn it. Solo can say, I spoke to the wise man. The wise man told me Braun Breaker is the right person to bring in. Not only is Braun Breaker beaten Jey Uso, and that's one of the reasons why we brought him into the Bloodline 2.0. But I knew he was going to make our side stronger because our side sucks. We get three of our guys get beat by two guys. Look how I am going ahead and throwing different freaking ideas out of the blue, swinging. And I could be striking out like the Yankees, but I'm swinging and I'm throwing stuff like that. And I'm not even writing this stuff down, Sean. Not even writing this stuff. Maybe that WWE should hire me right now because right now I'm throwing ideas out there. And look at that. Sean is like, oh, how did Frankie come up with that idea? And
No,
bro,
I don't disagree with that idea. That's not a bad idea. But the only thing I would say is this. Again, when you sit down and you look at, quote unquote, what WWE has done in the past, most of their shows are written from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They already have, and then again, injuries happen and they, slide people out and this and that. Okay? So then, if that is the case, then that was already, to me, would have already been in the plan because now they know what they're going to do with Braun Breaker going afterwards. Does he keep working with Jey? Jey goes back after the title again. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be interaction in there. That's not a terrible idea. I'm not going to shoot that down, but they would already have the game plan coming out of it is what I'm saying. Is like, to me, to just throw something, that would tell me that, wait a minute, this is in trouble because now we're starting to, like, wait a minute, or they're starting, it's almost like desperation to me. If it's like that and they're teasing it and it's not like a Braun Breaker or something like that and it's some bigger guy to where it's like a one-off, oh, we bring Goldberg in for one match with you know what I'm saying? Like, then I would be like, Bloodline Angle's in trouble because they don't know what they're doing, where they're going after this. Because that, at least with Braun, there's stories out of that, like you said. That would at least, depending on what way they go, there's other stories there. You can go back to him and Sammy. There's history there too, if Sammy is involved in the match. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things there that would make sense. And then you can, again, intertwine coming out of it. You still have the bloodline stuff, and then you still have the other stuff. And Steven Gonzalez, nobody gives a damn that you're here. Oh, we're happy you're here, buddy.
Shout out to Steven, brother. Shout out, man. And EA minutes, I know, Braun. I know. And again, man, I understand that WWE rights for WrestleMania and far apart. Like they're like, hey, we gotta make storylines way, you know,
They have
it's a lot of shows, right? They
have like an arc for each person, so that by the time you get to WrestleMania, it's ending their arc. So it goes up, and it starts getting to where
But I think
what they're doing. So
I think that's when you kind of can sometimes tweak a little bit, man. Like it's a new age.
tweak is good.
It's a new age.
Change bad.
Change is not bad, man. Change is always good.
Dude,
Change
if
is
the
always
angle that you have sold us that we're only in the third inning. If you're telling me you're in the third inning, then you know the end game.
Yeah, but the end game just seems like it's just a straight line. We need sometimes lines to curve, to go up, down,
down and around all over.
Not really, man. We all knew they were gonna bring Zammy into this. They needed 5 guys. We all knew who else was gonna fit them. We knew that. They could have figured out a way to.
Can I tell you something though?
What?
If it's supposed to be 5 guys, there's still 1 guy short.
On the Bloodline 2.0.
No, on Roman's side.
No, because you have Jay, Jimmy, Roman, Zammy, and Cody.
I don't know that Cody's going to be in that, man.
Cody will be in there. Cody's in there, bro.
I think you got Cody KO. Oh, no, you probably have KO and Randy at Survivor Series.
Oh, you know what? If you want to go ahead.
That's this week, right? Did they make that for Crown Jewel? I'm sorry.
I don't know the match.
Randy Orton? Did they? I have to look at the list.
I haven't looked at the matches. I gotta look them up.
Yeah.
And I know we gotta do predictions too. It's on our list, Crown Jewel predictions. We don't know the matches. But don't worry. That's why we're doing the predictions.
Freddie Freeman had another 2 home run.
You
holy shit.
You want to know something? See how spontaneous we are, that we went ahead and put Crown Jewel predictions, but neither you nor me know what our picks are gonna be. Because if we were that timeline and we were that storytelling and we would keep it that simple, we would have already spoken about this yesterday or earlier today and be like, okay, Sean, who do you got? This and that, this and that. And then the people tuning in on YouTube, Twitch, X, all that, don't forget to hit the like, don't forget to hit the subscribe. We'll go ahead and be like, yo, these guys are boring because we already know what they already know what they're doing. And as a matter of fact, we're spontaneous. We go by what's being thrown at us. And that's what I love about it. You see? That's the deal. 5th mystery member to counteract final boss. I got it. Super obvious. Stone Cold.
I am waiting for it to be like John Cena or something. Like this is Cena's.
Bring back the Taker.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Bring back Taker, baby.
Why not? All right. Let's move on to topic number 2. And it is the NXT going to the ECW arena. And what's interesting about this, Frankie Fresco, is it's going head to head with Dynamite on November 6th because of the election coverage on CW on the 5th. They're moving NXT to the 6th. And now they are going to go head to head with AEW Dynamite November 6th. And they're going to the ECW arena. And you kind of brought up, they had Busted Open Radio at the pay-per-view this weekend. And
they did.
And they announced a couple of superstars that are going to be a part of the show. So far, what's been announced has been Is
Sabu going to be there?
I don't think he is, man.
Is the Sandman going to be there?
I don't know. You know what they might do?
Is Taz going to be there?
Yes, Taz will be there, but it won't be his ankle or his leg or whatever it is. His knee. He actually, did you see that surgery he had?
I thought the reason why they took him out.
He had a total knee replacement. It looks jacked up, bro.
I thought they took him out of AEW because they were gonna bring Taz for the NXT ECW arena. That's what they were doing. that collaboration with
Collaboration AEW announcer to NXT front row seat with a walker.
I love it.
But I know right now Dawn Marie will be the referee for what is the match she's refereeing? I forgot. It's going to be a street fight between who was it? Tatum Pack? No, that's this week. Where the hell was who? I forgot who the match is going to be, but they're going to have her there. Dawn Marie, if anybody knows, was an ECW valet. I know she's been pile drive by Tommy Dreamer and everything else.
Just mention her.
So she's going to be the special guest referee. Bully Ray got involved with Trick Williams at the end of the night after he was attacked by Ridge Holland and Ethan Page. Bully Ray gets involved, and now there's going to be a tag team match, supposedly. Bully Ray and Trick Williams against Ethan Page and Ridge Holland. And, of course, Busted Open Radio, as you said, was there. I look, man, I'm not a big fan of Greco, buddy.
Did you see he was a little bit nervous at Halloween Havoc?
Very nervous. And I'm not saying I would have done any better, but I feel like he yells all the time. Like, that's his gimmick. Like, it's just like he takes it up a level. It's like, damn.
Now, let me say something here. And I don't know if this is true. I don't want to start rumors or anything like that. But
start it, buddy. Start it.
But I watch. If you guys, I watch different wrestling podcasts, and there's also another podcast that I watch that is with Vince Russo and Dr. Chris. What's his name? Dr. Chris. I think what is it? Featherstone. Dr. Chris Featherstone. So they have traitor. Idiots. Anyway, so they mentioned something on there, right? And one of the things that they mentioned, now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if they're just talking up their ass or if they were actually saying about it, but they said that, and this was Vince Russo who mentioned this, that apparently Busted Open now, because they signed with WWE for this NXT stuff, that they were now kind of bad mouthing AEW on the Busted Open show on Sirius XM because are criticizing AEW a lot harsher now that they're part of the WWE world for now. Is that true? I haven't heard Busted Open.
No, listen, Busted Open now. Bully Ray's always been pretty critical of AEW on certain things. I mean, you know, he's kind of like me, where he likes the wrestling in the ring, but like, why is the ref doing this? Why is this tag team partner doing this? Why is this guy doing this? The little things that irk him there. Now, he's always been there, always done that. Now, here's the thing, though, too, is I feel like LaGreca's like that company guy. Like, he's like, we got to tiptoe because we need to have Tony Khan on the show. Oh, we got to tiptoe because Jericho needs to be on the show. We got to tiptoe because, you know, so he always kind of balanced it out. And then they had Mark Henry, who was at the time with AEW. You know, you have Tommy Dreamer. You have Thunder Rosa. You know, like all of them are AEW, of AEW. So, like, do I think, you know, maybe they got a little harsher on it because of maybe LaGreca's just like, screw it, he's not happy. Maybe he felt betrayed by something that he thought he was going to get from them and he didn't. And now he's got WWE behind him. Or, I mean, maybe possibly but they did kind of go after them before too. Now, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say like they never went after AEW. They did.
The problem is
a little bit, I think, balanced because Bully Ray would attack and then LaGreca would kind of go, and maybe LaGreca's finally just been like, screw it. They're not doing they're not giving us anybody anymore, so I'm going to do whatever.
So, but again, I haven't been listening to their show recently. I've been very busy. But I have heard their show before on Sirius XM, and obviously, yes, you're right. I have seen Bully Ray. He's very critical. He doesn't
every Dynamite. After every Dynamite, he goes live.
He doesn't sugarcoat it. He tells what's in his mind.
Doesn't sugarcoat either way, too, by the way.
That is true. So that's why when Vince Russo mentioned that, I was like, really? Are they really now like going kind of like siding more with WWE and talking more stuff about
Well, also,
AEW? I don't know. I gotta tune in. I
here's the
gotta
thing
watch it.
too, though. You have to remember one other thing, or a couple things here. Mark Henry left AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that situation is. And Thunder Rosa, what's her situation with AEW? So maybe there's other stuff being said behind the scenes that they're getting on board or getting off of the AEW train. That's Tommy Dreamer's TNA. So again,
That is true. That is true.
you know, when you look at it, it's like, okay. And again, everybody looks at things different ways, man. So
And as a matter of fact, hold on, I just got some news here that apparently Rob Van Dam is backstage in NXT.
okay, so he'll probably be, because that'll be next week. Actually, next Wednesday is the NXT show.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll probably make an announcement, and he'll probably be there as well. That's what I'm saying. Like this show, they could just have people in the audience, like they do at the pay-per-view, the PLEs. They stand up, and it's Sabu and all the ECW originals there in the front row getting their accolades during the show. You know, the only thing that I don't know is, I believe that's a pretty small venue.
That it? Well, if
You know, I mean, it fits some people, but again, I don't know how they're going to have it set up. I don't know how they're going to. And then honestly, like I honestly feel at Crown Jewel, Paul Heyman shows up.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And the only reason I say that is because I feel like Paul Heyman needs to be at the NXT 2300 arena on camera to get that reaction from the crowd when he walks out. And again, you could do it live crowd and not on TV. But man, could you imagine that crowd going crazy if they played the ECW song at the beginning and Paul Heyman came out to it?
Here's my issue. Here's my thing. If obviously NXT is going to be in this ECW arena, they better go extreme. Like you can't be in that. You cannot be in that arena and not go extreme.
Well,
that
yeah,
should be a one-off.
Street fight with the women. The women are having a street fight. I forgot who's in it.
No, I need to see like 30 tables piled up and somebody going through all 30 tables. That's how I look at it in
Good old
ECW.
Frankie Fresco.
You cannot.
If you don't put somebody through 30 tables, you're not worthy of that building.
You're not. I better she crack skulls out there. I better she. It should be. I better she. You know when they get like
you better put your whole roster on the injured reserve list.
You gotta do it, baby. ECW. You wanna make this such a huge sale for NXT? Make it a monumental moment. Bring the ECW vibes, bro. That's what I want. One show where it goes extreme that nobody ever saw NXT do. And I bet you it will be successful. Will they get hurt? Who cares? It's extreme wrestling.
That's right. Who cares if there's a show on the 12th next week? Everybody could be injured.
They got so many damn wrestlers in NXT that they could just replace one with the other. It's not a big deal. Look at the other chick they brought in now, bro. They brought another woman in NXT, bro. You saw that?
Zariah, baby.
I've never heard of her.
That's the other one. The three of them signed right one after the other. It was Julia, it was Vakor, and then Zariah is from over in the UK, like Rhea.
Oh, okay. I didn't know who she was until I saw her. I was like, "Who is?" I read it. I
Delta before.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, I mean,
they couldn't trademark that name for obvious reasons.
What was her name?
Delta.
Ah, that's why. Okay, so that's where that name. Yeah. Okay, now I know her from that name because that name does sound familiar to me.
They couldn't change her to JetBlue or anything, or Spirit or anything like that. So.
Gotcha. Okay, now Delta, I've heard. That's why her face looked familiar.
So right.
But yeah, it's a lot of those things like that. It's like, you know, they keep bringing more people, and I'm like, wow. But you know, and they keep putting that women's roster.
That women's roster soon, it's going to be nothing but women's matches, man.
It's insane.
I mean,
it's scary how many good women are in that
male roster. They've got a pretty good damn male roster too.
They do.
You look at it, man. I mean, it's Trick Williams, it's Ethan Page, it's Tony D'Angelo, it's Oba Femi, it's Wes Lee. There's a lot of good talent there.
Yeah, and Rich Holland
Rich Holland's starting to come around. I like his new. I know they were all doing like like Halloween costume get-ups and things like that. I honestly think he should come out like that. That looked good. The way he came out as like I don't know if it was a Terminator type thing, but
I like the fact that he beat Andre Chase
yeah, I like it.
because that sets up him versus eventually Trick Williams. I like the fact that they
You
involved
elevated
him.
him. You
Yeah.
elevated him up, and
And it's funny because you mentioned, hey, I think he's gonna leave, and the looks of it doesn't look like he's gonna leave. It looks like they want to keep him in NXT.
it's so odd to me because at times you look at it, you're like, okay, they're going to try to make it a brand and keep people around, and then they just never pull the cord on it, man. Like, I feel like they could make it. Look, I'm not saying they're going to, pull the money that Raw and SmackDown and, maybe Dynamite is pulling on tickets and things like that. No. But if you go to these smaller venues and you run NXT shows, you're going to get a good house and you're going to get a good ass show.
I
So
mean,
I don't understand why they don't try to make it a brand. And then, you grow with them and then maybe down the line, again, the draft happens and you move them up or you just keep them there. I just don't see why you have to make that like all the time like a developmental to where if you do good here, then we're going to elevate you. Why not make that a focal point? You send talent down there to wrestle them and get eyes on the product. So why don't you make it seem like that's where you want the eyes to be?
true. I agree with you 100%. At one point in time, I wanted it to be just a developmental wrestling, but I want it to be its own brand now. I think they have enough, especially with the amount of like new faces that they have and their talent there. I think it stands out. And let's not forget that they're taking, they've been doing shows outside of Orlando. So if they're doing these shows outside of Orlando, why not go ahead and start making it happen,
And they do the Florida circuit all the time with their live shows. They do Fort Pierce. They've done Miami a couple times. They mostly stay up central and north area, Tampa. They do those shows. I wouldn't mind seeing them venture up to Georgia, North Carolina. Kind of like the old NWA days. It was Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee. Maybe try even like a little bit of, I don't know if you can get that like the Texas area or something like that. But if you keep that area there and travel, you're not really doing a lot logistically because technically you could drive it. You could drive a truck around and hit the different areas.
And in the ECW arena, is that the one that they're gonna have Lola Vice versus Jada Parker? Is that the one? Is that the street fight?
That is the street fight, and Don Marie is the
that's the one I was
is
thinking.
the referee. Yeah. And then also I heard they're talking about doing possibly an 8 women or a 10 women tag team extravaganza and bringing Lita in for that because she wrestled in ECW as Miss Congeniality.
See, those.
So,
but again, you gotta be
there's talk
extreme.
that they might do that as well.
Bring in Joe Henry.
Dude, you know what? You in the show with Joe Hendry caning people? Bro.
Bro, not only that, Joe Henry comes, and then you know how I would start, how I would end the show with like Joe Henry comes out or Shawn Michaels comes out, and Shawn Michaels is like talking and stuff, and then Joe Henry comes, and when Joe Henry comes, all of a sudden he grabs like a glass, like a bottle, and he smashes it right on Shawn Michaels' head, busts it wide open, and then they end the show that way. What a way to the extreme. And then here's the fight. TNA versus NXT. What you think about that, sir? Look at that storyline.
I kind of like it a little bit, but this is what I would do. I would hit his music because if they set up the ECW like they used to at ECW, if they set up the NXT, there's a stage and then you kind of walk down a couple steps. The stage area is set up well enough to where I think it's like one of those old school stages where you pull the curtain and the curtain comes across, at least judging by like how ECW did it. And I may be wrong because they may have just had it set up to where the cameras didn't catch everything. But as soon as he goes to walk out, and then I would cane him right there. Don't even let him get to the ring. As soon as he walks out, the crowd pops, bam. And then have him stand over him. I would even, dude, Joe Hendry right now, like, if I was him, I would do the old Sandman thing. As soon as I caned him, I would stand over him, lift the cane up, like an old ECW scene and just stand there. Because he's got the blonde hair like Sandman too, so it'd be funny.
And you know why we want to involve Joe Henry was because Joe Henry got screwed.
We believe. Nobody else believes. I believe in Joe.
But not only that, he got screwed on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, he did. Goddamn.
And it wasn't Bully Ray who screwed him over too?
Never. What?
Who screwed Joe Henry in that pay-per-view? Wasn't it Bully Ray who screwed him over too?
JBL.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was JBL. There you go. It was not. I don't know why I'm thinking JBL. See, so look at the connections, bro. That's crazy. You got JBL there. You could bring JBL out there too, bro.
JBL could be the fifth man in the Civil War.
Yes, you could even do that. You could even see how bro. I forgot it was JBL. I don't know why I thought it was Bully Ray. No, JBL.
We brought up JBL's name and we lost 2 viewers. Jeez. All right, we won't bring up JBL's name anymore.
Damn. I like JBL. He wasn't bad.
It's gonna be interesting. I really want to see which legends they bring back as far as, because I'm trying to think, like Tommy Dreamer's with TNA. TNA and WWE have a partnership, but it's interesting too because and again we'll jump around a little bit here, but TNA reached out for a feeler to see if they would be okay with WWE if they put AJ Styles in the TNA Hall of Fame this go around at Bound for Glory.
I did hear about that.
And again, I don't know who was discussed with or if it went to AJ and maybe AJ said not at the moment or whatever, but it was, I guess there was a feeler sent out and I guess they didn't get what they thought was a good feeling. So they did not do that. And of course it was Rhino and Bob Ryder. Rightfully so for Bob Ryder, and rightfully so for Rhino too. I mean, but Bob Ryder, there would be no TNA without Bob Ryder. So I'm glad to see him get it. Unfortunately, he wasn't around to get the flowers that he deserves. But again, it's going to be interesting to see which legends are there, because I think that'll also speak some things to where the WWE relations are too.
Bring Stone Cold, baby.
I mean, Vince is gone, right? Vince is gone. So anybody who had an issue with, again, the optics of Vince McMahon being there, who shows up? Who doesn't? We know Ray's there. So
bring in my boy, one of my favorite ECW wrestlers of all time. Just incredible, baby.
There you go. That's another guy that they might bring him in. They might.
He was one of my favorites in ECW.
He's awesome. He's just incredible.
Exactly. He was so good. I like him.
That's good stuff, man. And then the other thing is Devon. Does he get involved with Bully Ray at the ECW arena? Does he figure into the ending of this? Again, he's a producer. He's had some, issues health-wise, but he did do, I think, a match recently where it was mostly like a hardcore type thing. So it'd be interesting to see, do they throw like the 3D, Team 3D back together, the Dudley Boys, or for just one little thing. But again, Bully Ray, and then also, does Bully Ray go anywhere from here? Is this a one-off?
Let me ask you something. Now that we're talking about this whole ECW arena back, if you had to choose 3 guys from the ECW world that you would love to come back just for that show that you could remember, who would you want to see back for that show? I know I'm putting you on the spot without you thinking about it.
Now, alive or dead, as long as they've wrestled.
No, alive.
Actually make it to the show. Okay.
Alive.
I was going to say Chris Candido would be one of my favorites that I loved him. Bam Bam Bigelow as well, but unfortunately,
I would have loved Bam Bam Bigelow. Even Brian Pillman was another one that was good over there.
I would love to see Bill Alfonso. Fonzie. I just love the whole thing that he did with, with everybody, with Sabu, with Rob Van Dam. Now, I think Rob Van Dam's going to be there, so I'm not even going to say his name because I think that's obvious. Mm-hmm. Man, what's funny is, like, I think everybody that I think I would want to see has a chance of being there.
All right, so I'll throw some names.
I would love to see an entrance of Sandman.
Sandman's good. You know who I would love to see? Al Snow. Al Snow would be a good one for me. I haven't seen Al Snow in a long time.
Yeah.
You could bring him over there. Why not? I thought I was gonna. What about Mick Foley as Cactus Jack?
Yeah, I mean, you could do those guys. I just think that those are I think they all have good relations with WWE, so those are ones I think you'd see.
So you're trying to see somebody who doesn't have good relationship with.
Yeah, like or that doesn't fit into what WWE does right now. Like Sandman, I don't think fits in anything. But if they were to bring him back and he does an entrance through the crowd, maybe not with a Budweiser, drinking a beer and smoking a cigarette. If he just,
Oh, you got to bring that too.
The Inner Sandman music hits, and all of us, it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like if they're beating somebody down, and then all of a sudden Inner Sandman hits, and like that place would blow off. That place would just go through the roof. And another person I would like to see, and again, the ECW version of Shane Douglas. Not the Shane Douglas we saw in WCW, not the Shane Douglas we saw in WWE, but the triple threat version of Shane Douglas. But he had a lot of issues with WWE. So, again, that's one of the things to where, because I think you're going to see, the chances there for Dreamer. RVD, obviously, he's at NXT this week. I got to believe he's probably going to be there next week.
Bring in
Heyman, whether it's live or during the show, you're going to get Heyman there at some point. If it's dark match, if it's dark afterwards or whatever, Heyman's got to be there, man. Like, this is big. If they do not, that's a missed opportunity.
Is there any way that they could bring? And I'm looking him online to see because he's still alive. I just haven't heard from him in such a long time. Juventud Guerrero.
I don't know what the situation was with Juventud.
Where has he been? Because I'm looking him up. He's 49 years old.
He's wrestled a couple times with AAA.
Where is Juventud Guerrero? Because he used to be in ECW.
Mexico thing.
You could bring him. He'll be pretty cool. What about Marty Jannetty? Bring him back. You're gonna get some.
No, but the only thing is, like, I don't know that he brings anything with it. Like, at least the other guys are going to get a pop because of the ECW arena. Like, I don't think Marty Jannetty had a good ECW. Even Mikey Whipwreck was to me better for ECW than Marty Jannetty.
True.
Oh, it would be a good feel good if you had Marty Jannetty. Maybe you show a picture, and I think he's got a very bad ankle. Like his ankle, I don't know if they amputated or they were going to or something. But maybe a picture of him and Shawn Michaels sitting together in the back, kind of talking on the monitors or something. Like they did to Triple H. Maybe something like that. Where like, hey, there's a moment, or something like that. But like, I just don't think that he had anything to do with. Like, I mean, the easy ones are like Taz, Sabu. All the guys that wore ECW, the Dudley Boys.
What about Stevie Richards?
Balls Mahoney I believe he passed away. Is who was the other one? Balls Mahoney and the blonde-haired guy. I can't think of his name.
Axel Rotten?
Yes, Axel Rotten.
Yeah.
Is he still around or?
Let me see.
That'd be another one that wouldn't be too bad to have there.
Is he still?
And then of course the women.
No, Axel Rotten died 2016.
Damn. Oh, so is Balls Mahoney still alive, or Balls Mahoney passed away too?
Let's see if Balls Mahoney's still alive.
I thought one of them were.
Balls Mahoney, he passed away as well. 2016 as well.
Damn, man. I thought one of them were still alive. Then you got the women as well, though, too, because you got Francine. I mean, there's
that's pretty much it. Jasmine, you're the problem.
Jazz too. Jazz was there.
Yeah.
And then also, what was the other one?
You bring Sonny out of jail.
She's on a work release. She'll come out as Nails, be like a Halloween outfit, Nails.
Bring Sonny out of jail. Be like, Sonny, come out of jail just to come to the ECW arena, just for one night.
Oh my goodness, that'd be great. And then, I don't know anybody else that would be there. You know what I would like? I would like to have Joey Styles on commentary.
It's not a bad one.
Or something. At least do something. But again, I don't know how much of it was a shoot and how much he walked out of WWE.
Well, look, I got a couple of people. I mean, Dean Malenko's another one that was there. I'm looking online at their old wrestler.
He's working with AEW. So.
True, yeah, obviously, but it is no, he passed away. I think he passed away. Yeah, he passed away. I'm just looking at a lineup here that I found
Yeah.
online.
No, yeah.
But I don't know.
Stevie Richards.
Jake the Snake, but Jake the
Yeah.
Snake, we thought they released him.
Stevie Richards and Blue Meanie. Those are two guys that BWO.
Maybe Jerry the King Lawler if he's not too sick.
Oh no, you can't bring him in now
Why?
because he's the AEW. I was gonna say the other guy is now with AEW though, so I don't know. Well, I think he's with AEW. I don't know.
Which other guy? What are you talking about?
The the guy that was with Eminem and Billy Gunn at the PLE in the Dark Hour. That was the third guy of BWO with Stevie Richards, Blue Meanie. When the NWO was going on,
Okay.
BWO was a thing. It was the blue guy, Big Stevie Cool, and I forgot who the other one was.
Yeah.
So,
Conan. You can bring Conan.
yeah, I don't know how that's gonna fly. I don't know where Conan sits with people, man.
Like you said, Joey Styles is one.
Yeah,
Definitely bring him. But yeah, I'm just looking. Damn, there's a lot of the people on their roster has passed away.
oh yeah, because they were putting their bodies on the line, and
Yeah, it sucks. Psychosis, but I think is Psychosis still alive? Rick Steiner, was another one out there.
yeah, I mean,
Rey Mysterio Jr. That's one you could definitely bring because he's still with WWE.
yeah,
He would be pretty cool. But
yeah,
Sam,
that's what they did with the ECW One Night Stand.
Ron Simmons,
Yeah,
it's a couple out there.
those guys really only had like a cup of tea there, though. It wasn't like a.
Is Tajiri still alive?
I believe so. Yeah,
You can bring Tajiri. Tajiri. He used to be. Is he alive? Yeah, he's 54. Yeah, he's still alive. You can bring him over. You could bring so many legends if they really wanted to go all out.
I don't know how you fit them all in a show 2 hours long.
Well, no, you just introduce them all and be like, "Hey, what up?" Like,
No. I mean, yeah, you can bring them out before every match. You do, 6 or 7 of them at a time or whatever.
Yeah.
And then maybe you do something before the show to honor them better. You know what I'm saying? Give them their chance. Bring them all in the ring for one last time, or after the show.
That would be
bring them into the ring and bam, celebrate 2300. That'd be interesting.
Yep.
All right, time to move on to our next subject, which is jumping the aisle over to AEW.
Okay, let's talk some AEW, sir.
And it is the Moxley Blackpool Combat Club angle. We talked a little bit about it Friday, man. We didn't really dive into a lot of it, man. And I like it, bro. I like it. I like it. Now, are there certain things that are a little off-putting to me? Yeah. But then they had the sit-down recently, I believe it was on Saturday night on Collision, with Yuta and sitting down with Nigel McGuinness. I thought that was that was actually pretty good, man. Were you able to see that? Did you get to see that one?
No.
No?
I didn't get a chance to see that, no.
Nigel McGuinness was talking to him. He's like, how could you do that to Bryan Danielson? And he was like, what's wrong? Are you mad because we took your Batman?
Yeah.
The Joker? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like they put it like real life type things, and it's like, and he was like, they're showing me that, they're the only ones that care about me. Like it was odd listening to you to talk. Because it's like they believe in me, they trusted in me, and it's like, but Bryan Danielson gave you everything, and then it was like, but he was lying to me, and it's like I don't know where they're going with everything, and that's what I keep saying to everybody about the story, that I'm giving it a little bit of time to play out, because I want to see where they go with it, man, because it's very intriguing. Now, again, it gets me a little bit where. The Orange Cassidy thing. Where's that going? Daniel Garcia. Where's that going? There's a lot of little things in there too where I feel like it needs to be somebody bigger, but at the same time, I feel like they're setting up the band, and then they're going to add the lead singer, which I believe is going to be Bryan Danielson at the end. Mm-hmm. Now you're gonna bring in all your all the backup singers and everything else, And then boom, we bring in the vocalist at the end, but the stories now will be told through Orange Cassidy with what they're doing to him. They're taking out all his friends systematically. But that's the other thing too, and they kind of pointed to it the other day, and they're like, but all these people had already kind of left Orange. Orange was with the conglomeration now.
Yeah.
So like that is the part to me that like I'm still trying to understand where it's going, because I like the fact that they're kind of making Orange a little tougher. I like that. I like the fact that he's going a little darker, like
He's going darker.
After the thing went off the air, he got up in Daniel Garcia's face and he's like, I'm gonna take care of it. I got it. And and it's like, okay, now we're seeing a little bit different Orange Cassidy. But now the problem goes to this. Are people going to invest in a tough Orange Cassidy? Like, I don't know that I could, like you've got to sell me on that part of it. And not saying it can't be done. I just mean I see the guy that used to put his hand in his pockets, do those little super kicks to the shins. I don't see, the Orange Cassidy that's gonna have to pull out chairs and whatever else. Not saying that he can't do it, not saying he hasn't done it. From what I've watched of him on TNA and invested in that Orange Cassidy, I don't know that you can flip me that quick by just saying that, okay, because they attacked his friends. Now he's gone dark. When I've already watched this story happen and he didn't. Think about it. When the best friends broke up, he watched Chuck Taylor break his arm. And what happened with him and Trent Beretta?
Yeah, he got destroyed. And then there was no point and then all of a sudden we didn't see any more from Chuck for a minute.
Yeah, and then Trent Beretta went after Orange, but Orange never turned. Never did that like dark side to where I'm gonna beat him up because he took out my friend. And then
they had one-on-one fights here and there, but
yeah, but nothing to where it's like.
They had that street fight that went for a while.
I don't know that shows me a dark side. Like, these guys are putting people's heads in bags.
Sure.
Like,
that's actually funny.
Yes, no doubt. If he puts leather on, sold.
Here's my issue with the whole Moxley BCC angle. They need to start using a little bit more of the WWE concept, where if this is going to be what is going to be leading your story for a very long time, then you need to start with it and then end with it. I feel that what AEW tends to do is that they'll start with some other story, and then somewhere in between they'll throw the BCC angle, and then they'll do a match here or there, and then all of a sudden here comes again the BCC angle, and then they'll end it with something completely different.
The last two Dynamites, though, they start with them getting in a car in a desert or something.
Yeah, the pickup truck, right?
Talking, and then they hop in the pickup truck, and then it drives off. Then they go into the arena. So I guess technically they're thinking they're starting with that story because they do that part, and they kind of throw out the threat, and then they do the Dynamite opening, and kind of go on with the show from there. So they do a 3-minute promo with Moxley, kind of at the beginning, at least the last couple weeks. I don't know.
They have. You're right about that.
It's been a long time going, but they have done that, and then of course you've seen what the endings have been.
Yeah, but again, like I said, I think sometimes what they tend to do is sometimes they don't start the show with that. Even though you're right, they have been starting it with the little segments, those little montages that they've been doing. But I just don't like the fact that they'll go and they'll just jump in and they'll have like a brawl or something in the middle of the show or something like that. It's like, don't give it to us too much. Give it to us at the beginning and end it at the end, and that's it. Just leave it like that. You don't have to see a fight. It's like, think about it like the bloodline, right? When you have the bloodline, they start with the bloodline. They'll go to the back, but you'll have Roman and you'll have maybe Jimmy talking or something like that. You don't see Roman attacking somebody in the back.
This is just to throw it out there that, hey, they're still here.
Yeah, that they're still here. I think AEW needs to do that with this BCC angle. Just I don't have to go back there and then see them kicking somebody's ass. No, just have them like walking or talking or planning a strategy, or like, I don't know, Weird Yoda going ahead and talking to Moxley and telling Moxley, "Yo, I want to go and attack. Let's go get Orange Cassidy or something." And Moxley's like, "Relax, I got something planned." And just build it up that way. It doesn't necessarily always have to be, "Yo, let me go kick somebody's butt." Let me go kick their ass. That's not. It kind of gets too repetitive, and I think that's the problem. And then you always get the good guys, going ahead and be like, "Yeah, we're AEW." Danny Garcia, Private Party, all those
Standing
guys.
out in the parking lot where nobody pulls up except Marina Shafir, and then it's like, oh wait, there's a front door. Oh my goodness.
So
They
it's
make
just
all those guys look dumb. And then also it's like, when you look at it, and I don't mean this. I guess I do mean it, but the way I'm going to say this, it's the Dark Order. It's like, I mean, if you're doing this, it goes back to the whole thing. Like, I used to hate when they did Team AEW, and it was like a thrown together team of nothing. Not nothing, but like, it's like, oh, we got this guy and this guy and this guy, and they can care less about AEW. Like make it Will Ospreay. I get that they're in other angles and things like that, but what if they showed up and laid out Will Ospreay in the back, even if it's hinted, just like they did with Taz, which I think the ending of that was just ridiculous. The whole thing, like, it should have been Hook. Hook should have been the one that took his dad out and turned him heel. Oh, wait, Christian. What? You got Christian attacking everybody. Like, come on, man. I mean, that's another timer story. But for me, like, you could have people laid out in the back and not know what the hell happened to. And now you're thinking, oh, Kyle Fletcher did it. And then 3-4 weeks down the road, Kyle Fletcher and Ospreay are going at it, and then BCC attacks Kyle Fletcher again, or attacks Ospreay again. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to have them showing that they're attacking everybody.
Yeah, like, remember they
just
did
have
that.
people laid out and then be like, oh, that must have been, like, if Hook gets laid out right now, you're gonna automatically, to me, think, oh, Christian or one of those, Nick Wayne or somebody did that. Not, oh, he got laid out by BCC. Like, I believe you can still, start that stuff. Adam Cole laid out in the back. Oh, MJF.
Remember they did that a while back when they had the whole Adam Cole, the mask,
the devil.
The devil, when they had people laid out. Like, I think it was, who was it? I think it was Jay White, and the guns were laid out or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they like
then
that.
they went after MJF because they're like, you're the devil. We know you're the devil. We saw you wear the mask.
And again, and same concept as WWE. Keep it suspenseful. Keep it unpredictable. Keep it. You're only gonna get your fan base to stick around is if you keep it suspenseful. Especially how their storylines are kind of not the greatest. So you have to keep. They have to even do more than what WWE typically does, because they
But I
need
think
to.
if you can start getting them invested, and we've talked about this, man, if you get them invested, and it's kind of what you're saying as far as keeping it suspenseful, but it's also making them buy into Orange Cassidy the way they are buying into Bryan Danielson, buying into Daniel Garcia. You got to make them viable. If they're not, it's not going to work, because the BCC should whip their ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be, that's the part, I think, that's where I'm interested to see how they make this work.
And I don't
see Orange Cassidy as that guy to go out there and I'm going to get revenge. I don't see it. Just like Daniel Garcia. I saw a little bit of it with the MJF, but not enough to where I go, I mean, what? Both of them together weigh as much as Moxley?
But let me ask you something, Sean. Out of all the guys that you're bringing, and I know the way AEW looks at it is like, yo, we need our young talent to, we want to promote them and all that stuff. But think about it. Out of all the guys in AEW, you choose Orange Cassidy to go ahead and lead the pack. Like, how does that make any sense? Like, if I think about it, if you're comparing both companies, WWE and AEW, the heel in WWE obviously was Roman for a while. Now they have Gunther. I guess you could say Gunther is like the main guy. And on the AEW side is Moxley Who else is a heel
MJF.
over there? MJF. Okay,
Honestly,
those two.
I think they're heavy. They're heel heavy. That's the problem with AEW.
But check
They have
this out.
so many antagonists and no protagonists.
Okay, so now let's look at the baby faces. The baby faces in the WWE side is Cody. That's their main baby face, right?
Yes.
He is the number one. The main baby face, technically, based on this storyline, which is the one you're making it the AEW beginning and end of the show, is Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Or maybe Danny
Yes.
Garcia. Like,
Yeah.
how do those guys compare to a Cody Rhodes? You can't, dude. That's why it shocks me. Like, I understand. It's like they overthink things sometimes. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, if I was them, I know he's not AEW. I know he's not freaking the young talent, but you gotta put Will Ospreay.
Yes.
You gotta put who's another guy who's big in that. You might want to bring Ricochet, even though he's WWE, but he's selling it. But no, the right guy is Will Ospreay. He should be your biggest baby in AEW. So you make him
It
the
should be
storyline.
Ospreay and Cole right now. Those are your baby faces.
Because
Those are your two guys you got to make your baby faces.
those are your biggest guys to go up against, especially since Bryan Danielson is hurt and he's out. So that's your guy right there. You bring him, but you created a story outside of him. He has his own little issues with the whole Takeshka and Kyle Fletcher and all that stuff. It's like, where are you going with this? Why are you using, it's like you're using your mid-level talent for your biggest storylines, and then you're using your high-level talent when you're talking about babyface for your like mid-level storylines. It's just dumb. It just doesn't make any sense. It looks like you're confused. That's why I think people don't go to the AEW side and be like, yes, I'm invested. That's why when you're telling me, Frankie, I'm invested in this Moxley, I'm not, because it just feels like Moxley versus Orange
I'm
Cassidy.
intrigued. I'm intrigued. I want to see where it goes. I'm giving it a chance because I like the start of it, but I want to see what happens. The biggest part of it for me is exactly what you're saying. Can you get me to buy into Daniel Garcia and Orange Cassidy? Because if that's who you're trying to sell me, you've got to do a good job of selling me, because nothing I see about them. Now, Daniel Garcia against Wheeler Yuta? Okay. No, I'm saying on match levels. But Claudio against Daniel Garcia? No.
Moxley,
That's
Danny
my problem
Garcia.
right now is I don't see it as they're not on that level of Claudio and Moxley right now. So they're not to me.
And see, this is the problem with AEW.
I get it. I'm not the AEW, believer or whatever you want to say, but you can't tell me that those two are on the same level of anybody other than Yuta on that squad.
And I think the problem with AEW when it came to Danny Garcia is that I think maybe Tony Khan felt that the whole him and Will Ospreay and MJF situation, when he went into MJF and all that stuff, that elevated Danny Garcia to be now with one of those guys. But that's not the case.
You gotta do it over time.
You gotta do it. Yeah, it's like he did it like
for that time, but you got to do it over time because you burn in and burn out.
Exactly. So I felt like maybe Tony Khan thought, hey, we got him over. Now everybody's gonna love him. That's not the case. They people in that moment he was starting to invest on him and like, okay, cool. Let's see where they go with this. That's where you need to be more strategic with who you put in what storylines. You want to upgrade Orange Cassidy. You want to make Danny Garcia more talented. You should have kept that storyline with MJF and Will Ospreay. Have Danny Garcia more involved in that and build him up slowly. That way he could eventually be a big baby in AEW. Same thing goes with Orange Cassidy. You should have done stuff like that. But from just grabbing them out of the blue and throwing them now against Moxley and the BCC, I'm sorry. I'm not sold.
Yeah, you should have had an angle, like you're saying, like with that whole thing with MJF and Daniel Garcia. What would have made more sense to me was if Daniel Garcia started getting the upper hand on MJF and the BCC attack Daniel Garcia. And now they bring it on, and now it's like, oh, now I got to fight. And I think that would have been better than like now he's trying to be the tough guy. Like, I'm here to represent AEW because I just signed a contract and I'm AEW. And that's why I'm here to do this. It's like, it just feels like it's pushed because you just signed a new deal.
And then the other thing that's true. And another thing also is like they could create other like since you have so many heels, heel after heel against babies, right? Why don't you create a heel versus another heel? Why don't you start involving Okada, the Young Bucks, to question this BCC angle and be like, yo, hold on a second. We're the EVPs, we're the ones that run the show. Who the hell are you guys? And then all of a sudden, now you have another opponent for the BCC.
Well, now you might start turning Okada and the Bucks to baby faces.
Correct.
But I think that's the problem. That's the problem, I believe. Because I still feel like they think this elite EVP running AEW is a storyline and it's falling apart.
It's definitely falling apart.
I don't even know where the hell that. I mean, like,
not only that,
when Tony Khan was at the draft with the neck brace, what else has happened?
And you know what? Which one kind of like threw it off as well was when Moxley and all of them started attacking. I don't remember who it was, but then the Young Bucks were there with Okada, and then the Young Bucks just left the ring. They left. They were like, "Yo, we're out of here," and that's it. And they allowed it. And that's when I go and I say, "Why? Why do that? You're the Young Bucks. You're the EVPs. You still want to carry this storyline of you being the head honchos? Then you need to make your presence felt. You're not gonna just go ahead and allow."
I feel like that's going to happen now. Watching it last week, like the Bucks stood at the top and just watched. But I feel like 1 week it's going to be like, oh, now we have to act. Like maybe Jack Perry or one of them is going to be stuck in the ring.
I don't know, man.
But like, I don't know. Because to me, honestly, like, what is Jack Perry anymore? Honestly, I mean, like, what is he? You had
He's
him.
not bad. But...
No, but you had him take on Bryan Danielson, had a great showing. And then what?
Kind of left him out.
That's what keeps happening. It's like, that's to me is like one of the things to where like,
and if you're looking right now at their show, right, for tomorrow, you got the Young Bucks versus Private Party, right? You got Swerve and Shelton Benjamin.
That's also, Private Party loses, they have to split up, by the way.
Yeah, that was another concept, but I'm like, does that mean if they beat the Young Bucks, again, I'm gonna be pissed because
no, I don't think they win. I think you end up splitting. Because you saw Quinn look at him like, the hell are you doing?
Correct.
So I think you're going to end up having a heel baby, but now you make another heel and you lose a baby. Like that's the problem I have is like, to me, you haven't built up the babies as much as you built up the heels.
Yeah, it's like look for example, right now they have that fight lined up between Hangman Page and Jay White. Jay White has not been set up to be a baby, but they're trying to make him a baby now, and it's just not there. Like it's like they're rushing a lot of things. And look at the thing of Adam.
I think they're trying to use that thing where we talked about the gray area, right? Let the fans choose whether they're good or bad. But the problem is you can't do that with everybody.
Correct.
You're doing that with Adam Page. You're doing that with Jay White. You're doing that with like you have to have a number of guys that are. We're supposed to cheer for that guy. We're supposed to hate that guy. Even if it gets to the point of Cena Roman where you're hating the guy because you know you're supposed to be cheering the guy. But at least there's an investment into the character. Because right now I feel like everybody's just kind of like, what the hell do I do? What? And you know the action in the ring, you're going to get the O's and the ahs and the holy shit chants and this is awesome. You're going to get the reaction for the match. The problem is there's no reaction after.
And
or
not only
keep the reaction going because then you have the, I mean, think about this. Swerve, Adam Page beats Swerve, right? In that match to where like Swerve almost contemplates what I need to do next. That was kind of the angle. Like, oh, he's going to do this and that. And then the next thing for him is Jay White attacks Adam Page and beats him?
And let's not forget Swerve.
That should be Page that should have been his launch up for a little bit. Not saying that, look, Jay White could come back in a month or so or 2 months or whatever, but you went from this to your top guy to now you're down. You're not saying Jay White's down there, but the momentum that you've just stopped. For what?
And it happens to them with not only, Hangman Page, but it happens with a lot of them. Look at Willow when Willow was up at one point, and then all of a sudden they brought her back down. I haven't seen Willow in a minute. I'm like,
You got hurt. Concussion now. Sorry. So just so you know.
there you go. But they've done that with a couple guys, and then look at Swerve. Swerve got his house burned down and everything, and he just lets it like, okay,
Yeah, I lost the match. So
it's over. It doesn't matter that you burned my house. Come on, man. Like, dude, like you gotta. There has to be more to it. Like, I get it. Like, if they still kept Swerve getting involved with Hangman, but then now all of a sudden MVP came around and all that stuff, and they fit it in that aspect. Now you have different storylines. Now you have Swerve can divert his attention from Hangman to MVP, but he never did.
Not only that, but how about this? How about you just have them walk by each other in the back, have people be there to like kind of like in the way, and then just one of them snarl at the other one like this isn't over, and then leave. You ain't got to do anything right there, but now you've thrown it out there that okay, this isn't over because right now it looks like it's done. Now,
And then
you know how wrestling works.
Yeah.
6 months down the road, they're going to bring it back and everything else. But why not throw the little eggs? That's sometimes where I feel like AEW is more about, and I get it, we're the best wrestle and all this stuff. But you still have to get the investment if you want the return on your investment. If you don't get the fans' investment, you're going to get no return on your investment.
I feel that AEW, what they do is they cater to mostly their pay-per-views and just having this wow matchups in pay-per-view, and that's why their pay-per-views deliver. Because when, like for example,
they're in ring. There's no question.
Correct. There's a reason. There's a reason why I'm going to the Orlando card because I want to see Will Ospreay, not because of his storyline. I just want to see him wrestle, and that's it. I want to see.
You're invested in Will Ospreay. Others were invested in Bryan Danielson. Some are invested in Swerve. So you're getting the crowds there because they're invested in one individual. The problem is they're not invested in your show.
They're not 100%, 100%, and
they're not invested in your show. So they'll go when you come and pay, $800 for a seat or whatever.
Well, I didn't pay all that, but
I know that. I'm just saying, but again, but they're going to pay, and again, the pay-per-views are different because you're going to get a 20-minute match probably from most of these guys, especially like an Ospreay.
Yeah, they go all out.
You know what you're going to get. You're not going there going, oh, I hope Ospreay, beats Danielson or whatever. You're going there like, I can't wait to see Ospreay. Yeah. You don't care what the outcome is. You're just like, I want to see Ospreay.
Exactly, but it doesn't necessarily, like for example, I go to that because I'm already with the expectation. I want to see Bobby Lashley wrestle. I want to see MJF probably wrestle. I want to see Adam Cole. When my friends, like for example, when Memo asked me, Frankie, who's wrestling? Because he doesn't know the storylines. Because there isn't nobody invested in the storylines. We just know these. I want to see Ricochet. Who is Ricochet having like storylines right now and all that stuff? Well, technically with us, it should be Takeshita and all those guys, but I'm not invested in that. But I still want to see the high flyer Ricochet because I never saw that Ricochet in WWE.
You're going for the moments.
I'm going for the moments. I'm going for just to enjoy the wrestlers, but not for the story. So that's why when it comes to the pay-per-views, yeah, they'll get the crowds. Yeah, they'll get the views here and there, but they're not going to get the returning fan that's going to be like, oh, you know what? I saw that live Grand Slam. Thank you, no doubt. Grand Slam in Orlando. And then all of a sudden, I can't wait to see what happens.
World's End in Orlando. I think he's saying in the game there was a Grand Slam.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Grand Slam this year's in Australia.
Oh, that's true. Sorry about that. So then all of a sudden, it's like, I'm not going to go ahead and... Is it World's End?
Yep, World's End.
It is World's End? Okay. So I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens in Dynamite on Wednesday after that show. No, I'm going to be like, oh, I went to the show. I enjoyed that show. Kudos. That's it. I'm done. And there's nothing more after that for me because that's how AEW treats their wrestling.
I think they have gotten better. I just think that there's not a formula yet. They have gotten better. At least there's some stuff now. It's not every week. It's not just
It's not reflecting the viewership though.
Yeah, but again, that's part of building the investment, and I don't know that that's their formula. Their formula is not that. What's interesting to me is now, does that change with their recent TV? Once their TV deal goes in.
It ain't.
Well, you have to remember this. Yeah, you get this now, but if your numbers go down, then your TV rights deal is going to go down. You've got to keep, decent numbers, man. I mean, you hope to go up, but I'm intrigued on some of their storylines. Now, here's one that
it is the world's end.
The Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay. I like it, but I feel like, why couldn't you have stretched it out a little bit? You need baby faces. You could have kept Kyle Fletcher. Ultimately, him turning on Ospreay could have been the end result. I get that. But why couldn't you have made him a baby face for a little bit when you're hurting for baby faces? And he seems like he was getting over a pretty good reaction with the crowd when he was coming out, whether it was the baby Ospreay or whatever you want to do. But why kill it so quick? Why couldn't he have been baby Ospreay? Let it build and fester. Then he turns on Ospreay because of it later. Not now, because you're so hurting for baby faces. I feel like Kyle Fletcher could have been at least one of those guys that you can kind of put up there.
Yeah, literally. Look, if you want to think about it, man, think about it now. Now that you mention it, the champions are Jon Moxley, heel.
They're all heels. Heels.
That's where I was going. Mariah May, Mercedes Moné, Young Bucks, Okada, Jack Perry, Takeshita, and the trios champion, which is Wheeler Yuta, Castagnoli, and Pac. They're all heels.
Yeah.
It's not a single damn babyface.
And now here's even something worse.
Wow.
Here's worse. Other than Takeshita with like Ricochet and Ospreay, who's the number one contender that you see taking any of those titles?
The only person I could think of that maybe can probably make a run would probably be Adam Cole, and probably Adam Copeland when he comes back, because I heard he's back.
But again, you're talking about guys that have just returned.
Yeah,
think about it. I mean, that's where they're hurting, and you still have MJF that hasn't been around.
Yeah,
who's another big heel persona. So, like, your baby faces are hurting right now.
They are, man, because I'm looking at their roster right now, and it is rough. Like Shibata, but Shibata's not big. Shibata's not big enough. They haven't sold us on him. Yeah. And I know they use Kyle O'Reilly a lot, but Kyle O'Reilly's not. He's not.
Kyle O'Reilly's that baby face that gets beat every week, but can keep getting beat because they like him. The whole conglomeration is that way. By the way,
didn't they?
Conglomeration is that. And that's why I think they're starting to distance him from Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a group of what Al Snow used to have, the Job Squad. Pin me, pay me.
Yeah. And you know something, you're right, because look, I'm looking at they have the opportunity to make baby faces out there as well. Like Warlow could be a baby face. They've never used them again. They
gotta package them better. Big Bill. I no doubt, I agree. Big Bill. Like the other thing is,
what happened to Ortiz? I know he's not a main roster guy, but he could have used Ortiz. They stopped using Ortiz.
Yeah, no, Ortiz. Yeah.
I ever since this guy left his tag team partner.
Well, they were on the outs anyways. That's why.
Yeah. But I think they let go of Miro. I don't think Miro's anymore with.
Yeah, they gave Miro, I think, his release.
So you just don't have anybody out there. I mean, Mark Briscoe, but he's Ring of Honor.
Guys there, you're just not doing it right. Hell, you got Ricky Stark sitting at home, bro. Like,
that is a good point.
And he said he would wrestle still. He showed up at another independent show recently. Like, it's like you have guys that you could bring in and change. Like MVP's group, I know they're a heel group, but like, why? I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like you're just bringing. Everybody comes in as a heel.
Yeah, because look, if you think about it, here Darby Allin is the only other good guy, but how much can Darby Allin do?
He's Tony Khan's Goldberg or Lesnar, Vince McMahon's Lesnar. In case of emergency break.
What happened to Eddie Kingston? Is he still hurt?
He's been out. Yeah, that knee injury, man. I'm not sure how bad that was. I know it's
been bad.
Pretty bad because he got caught. I think his leg got caught as he was getting slammed down, so I think he tore some stuff in there.
So you have a lot of guys that you're right. There's just not a baby out there that you could honestly go ahead and say, "Yo, I could, roll with him." I mean, Action Andretti, he's not a big guy. He's a mid-level guy, but again, they don't use him right. They don't try to push him. The guns. Anthony Bowens. He's another one that could honestly be a baby, but they don't. They've kind of lost momentum.
That whole situation, I don't understand what they're doing. Max Caster's like, I'm the best professional wrestler. And you're in a tag team, bro. Like, you know what? I don't get it. I don't get where they're going with that either.
And not only them, but then look at Malachi Black and his group, like Buddy
Yeah.
Matthews and all them. Like you could look, the Wyatt Six find a way to become babies. They're babies right now in the WWE. Why can't you turn that group into a baby over there in AEW and leave them as babies? Don't flip flop them every couple of months. Yo, they're going to heel. No, they're going to be like Chris Statlander. One day she's a heel and one day she's a baby.
Then she blames, Stokely took advantage of me when I was down low. Like, what, Stokely got brain powers or something? Like I don't get what we're doing, man.
What happened to Keith Lee? What happened to that guy?
Oh, he's not. He's out injured. I saw an update. He hasn't been cleared yet. Again.
How did he get injured? He never wrestled in AEW.
Oh no, he when he had COVID and something happened during that time.
Oh.
And he came back and then it resurfaced, I believe, is something.
They should make the Beast Mortals a heel baby, bro.
I don't understand why not. I don't understand.
Make Mortals as a heel.
Even Roosh, like, why not make Roosh a baby?
Yeah,
like, does it? I mean, it'd be almost like Andrade a little bit, but at least it's a baby face. Like,
yeah,
you have guys there that can step up and kind of take the reins, but they got to give them the opportunity. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. We're on the miscellaneous news and notes. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, Samantha Irvin was on a podcast.
Yep.
And stated that, she just didn't want to be a ring announcer anymore.
She hated it.
And she hated it, basically. She used it as an in, thinking that she would be able to, advance in the WWE, and it didn't happen. And now, do you think she shows up in AEW now after hearing that?
Here's my issue. She wanted to be a general manager, but
she would be a valet, a whole bunch of stuff.
The issue here was that I think what happened with WWE is that they saw that she was so good as a ring announcer that they wanted to keep her there because she was just blowing up. She
brought a personality to the announcer position, and to the wrestlers.
And I will say this, look, no hate to Lillian Garcia. Lillian Garcia is a Hall of Famer.
No, but she's the old school ring announcer. Her voice is always, she's not going to be like Chelsea Green.
But
she's not going to cry when Cody wins the title. Like, the emotions that Samantha brought to that position,
well,
you're not going to get from anybody else.
Word on the street is that she's only a temporary fill. She's not going to be the long term. And if you notice the last show, LA Knight had an interaction with Lillian Garcia, and LA Knight went ahead and said, "Can you do me a favor? You announced me perfectly, but can you announce me like this, LA Knight?" That way the crowd would say, yeah. So I'm intrigued to see if she switches it up just for LA Knight, because if she does, then maybe she'll start doing that with more wrestlers. Or at least if I was WWE, I would ask her, hey, why don't we try this with you, as long as she's open.
That's what I'm saying. But then now you're trying to make her Samantha Irvin.
No. You're not making her Samantha Irvin. You're just trying to invest and see how she could be better than what everybody's known to say, especially because LA Knight just gave her that opportunity. Nobody ever thought, I don't know if that just came out of the blue from LA Knight, but when he came in, he said, hey, call me LA Knight. Yeah, because she would just call him, hey, the United States champion LA Knight. So people are not going to say, yeah. But if she now switches it up and says LA Knight, and then the people can say, yeah, then all of a sudden, I think herself, she could start gaining that and be like, okay, you know what? This worked. Maybe I could try something different. She doesn't have to go extreme either.
She's not going to be there long enough.
True. I don't.
To be honest, I'd be like, look, bro, I'm going to announce you how I announce you.
Damn.
You don't like it? Then get a Carlos Get the Alberto Del Rio guy in here and do his announcing for you.
Nah, dude, you can't.
If you
like
say,
that.
here's L.A. Knight, yeah. Here's L.A. Knight, yeah. I mean, either way, you could say yeah at the end of it. You're just waiting for the end of the night.
It's
not like you're saying L.A. yeah Knight. No, you're saying L.A. Knight. Yeah.
You go.
As soon as you say night, you say yeah. It's that not difficult, bro.
Sean, come on, man, come on, dude. Like they should
Look,
say.
look. When I say night, you say yeah. Okay, L.A. Knight. Why not?
It just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't sound the same.
Okay.
But now do it the other way.
No, I'm not gonna do it that way.
Okay, I'll do it that.
I'm not.
L.A. Knight. Yeah. It's different. It feels different.
It doesn't feel nothing.
You just finished giving kudos to Samantha Irvin for being different, for showing that emotion. And then what I'm trying to tell you, Lillian Garcia can
Samantha Irvin, not Lillian Garcia. Not Lillian Garcia.
People change.
That is Samantha Irvin's thing. She did that on her own.
Oh, so Samantha Irvin is the only one that can show some emotion out
right here. Josh, Samantha's too much. She went overboard. See, that's what you get. That's the thing is like she's not for everybody, but she brought a difference to some of the thing. But that's not the way people announce people. Like it's different. It's a Samantha Irvin thing. It's not a Lillian Garcia thing. Like if you force her to do it, she's gonna have to do it because you're paying her. Okay, but like that's not Lillian Garcia is not the one going L.A. Knight.
No, but Sean, you're such old school. God damn it! I hate that. You people.
Why am I old school?
Because you're like, okay, this person's never gonna change.
Okay, wait. Let me ask you this though. So if she announced it that way, that's the way she felt she needed to announce it, right?
At that time, yes. But now LA Knight gave her an idea, and if she if she changes,
LA Knight is trying to change her. Yeah, that's fine. All right, you're right.
LA Knight not trying to change her. LA Knight just giving her. LA Knight's telling her, yeah, it's true. Okay, it's like, for example, you go and you tell me, hey, Frankie, you want to know something? Frankie never in his wildest dreams ever saw himself doing podcasts talking about wrestling with Sean Stanley. Never. One random day, Mr. Sean Stanley went and said, Frankie, would you like to be on a podcast of wrestling?
My mistake, people. My mistake.
I went ahead and I said, you know what? Yeah, I don't have the most knowledge. Excuse my language. I fuck up a lot when it comes to some of these names, and so because my memory sucks. The older I get, God, please don't punish me. But I think I'm gonna run into some Alzheimer's because I literally forget everybody's name. I was just saying, Bully Ray was the one that attacked freaking this guy. Joe Henry, and it was freaking JBL. So it goes to show you how sometimes it's just Frankie. Just Frankie does who Frankie is. This is who I am. But that doesn't mean I didn't change. I wasn't like this. I was not invested into wrestling like this for a very long time. I came back to watch wrestling. Let me ask you this.
Did I say, Frankie, you need to watch more wrestling? Frankie, you need to change, or did you do it on your own?
I did it on my own, but
okay.
But
that's all I'm saying.
But just like if I'm learning how to ride a bike, you were right there to push me and give me that little push.
Glad I wasn't there pushing you, bro. I would have pushed you right into that wall.
I would have crashed straight into a car.
I would have thrown you right into the wall.
But that's what I'm talking. See, look, even Josh is saying, Frankie, you should be an announcer. Of course I should be an announcer.
Yeah, Why don't you take over Lillian Garcia? Put the dress on and go out there. Be good.
I am not going to put a dress on, but...
You can call the first number one contender.
You know what I would do? And shout out to that little boy who had that crazy ass mask and the whole
dude,
Cody Rhodes outfit. I kept telling you on the live stream that we did. I would do that. I would wear that. I have to lose some weight, but I think I could pull it off. I could pull it off. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like you think people change, bro? There's nothing wrong with change.
Can I tell you what's going to happen? Can I tell you what's going to happen?
Tell me.
This week, Lillian Garcia is going to be like L.A. Knight. And everybody's going to be like, yeah, you know what's going to happen on X?
What?
Oh, Lillian trying to be like Samantha. Look at Lillian trying to change and be like Samantha.
Don't turn on X.
And be like that.
Don't turn on X. Ignore it. Just be
yourself, man. Be who you want. LA Knight. You want somebody to say it? Then have your little electronic voice go, L.A. Knight.
Oh my God. On another miscellaneous, to answer your question, do I think Samantha's gonna go to AEW? I hope she does. I think in a way that I hope she does, just because I miss her voice and I miss her
Thing is, though,
interaction.
at this point, then her and Ricochet are both kind of lying, right?
Even better.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure we
Even
still.
better.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. They changed. They changed. They're allowed to change.
Even better. You want to know
They're allowed
why?
to change.
I've always said this: when they're talking talking good about you is always good. When they're talking bad about you, it's even better.
Me sipping my cafecito.
No doubt says Lillian doesn't have to change because Samantha was awesome, but it would be cool if she picked up a couple of Samantha things. Exactly. Exactly. All right. On another miscellaneous note. Sorry, there's people that are criticizing these WWE WrestleMania ticket sales.
Yep.
Sir, talk to me, man. Why haven't you gone ahead and hooked us up with entries to WrestleMania, especially being this expensive? I was not able to buy. That's why I went and I got the AEW tickets because that's way more cheaper than the WWE WrestleMania.
Here's the thing going forward. TKO is trying to knock out the third party buyers early.
What do you mean by that?
So they're putting the tickets up so high that if a third party bought them, they couldn't mark them up and make money.
I did hear about that. Yes, I did hear about
So
that.
that is the thinking. Now, again, this is where it gets silly because people still bought them. And again, this is what I've said about even like nowadays in what we're going through with everything in society is this. If people are buying eggs for $6, you're not going to lower the price back down to the price that you were to $3 or whatever it was. This is where, like, again, it's greed if you want to call it that. But if you're the value of a ticket is what you're willing to pay for it. And people paid for it. The highest opening WrestleMania weekend of ticket sales ever. Think about it.
I mean, my friend. I'm not.
Although they probably sold only 2, and it was more than any other game. But
I'm not gonna mention my friend's name, but he did buy tickets to WrestleMania because he wanted
Memo,
to go.
I want to go, buddy.
No, it's not Memo.
I'm kidding.
But he paid over $2,000.
Yeah.
And
Now, did he do the package or did he just seats?
No, he did the package. He's gonna be there both nights.
All right.
And he's on the floor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But Sean, $2,000 for
Oh, I know.
But you could go travel Europe or do anything.
If you're going to pay it, then they're gonna. I mean, people make this their vacations every year. Overseas, people, I mean, there's packages overseas where you come here for the week and you go to Smackdown, you go to the Hall of Fame, you go to both WrestleManias, you go to Raw, and then you fly out. I mean, this has become a destination. This is where I think.
Yeah, but we're not doing a destination to Las Vegas. I mean, a destination would be like, hey, let's do a WrestleMania in Europe. Okay, let's go to Europe. Now we can not only
of moving WrestleMania overseas.
Yeah, that's true. And if they were to do that, then I wouldn't mind spending those $2,000 because I'm visiting another country.
But this is where I feel like the greed is going to get to WWE. Because for WrestleMania, people are going to pay this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not paying this for a 2-night SummerSlam. I'm not paying this for a 2-night Survivor Series.
I wouldn't pay
or whatever
2-night WrestleMania.
But at least at WrestleMania, you're getting the marquee matchups.
Yeah.
You're getting, the best of WWE. You're getting Hall of Fame. Yeah. You're getting all the little things that happen around the town. They take over Las Vegas and you've got access. You've got all the wrestlers doing things throughout the week at whatever they're doing. It's an event and you can run into people on the strip. They've got meet and greets. They've got everything there. So,
so let me ask you this.
You're going there. The prices are astronomical. But again, if people are going to pay for it, how am I going to sit here and say?
Let me ask you this.
Yep.
Can WrestleMania become cost-wise to the level of a Super Bowl? Because you know what? Super Bowl tickets, the cheapest Super Bowl ticket is 10 grand, usually. Can WrestleMania get to that level?
I don't know if it'll get to that level. Maybe half.
Yeah. At the price that they're going, man, and the way you're selling it, it reminds me of a Super Bowl. It's their Super Bowl, right?
It is their Super Bowl, but I mean, I just don't know that you can get 10. Again, if there's packages that have not been out yet. I heard there's going to be like an Undertaker package where you get the box and the Undertaker will be there and you get a belt signed by him and something else.
Cool.
It's like $20,000.
That's Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? I could buy a car with that.
Exactly. But somebody's going to pay it. I guarantee you.
Let me ask you this, Sean. If the Miami Dolphins make it to the Super Bowl, would you pay 10 grand to go see the Miami Dolphins in the Super Bowl?
If I had it, yes. I may have to dress up in the dolphin outfit and rob a bank.
Then you know what, man? Then we can't criticize or we can't
Again,
on WWE trying. Then
the value is whatever somebody's willing to pay for it. If they're willing to pay that price, am I paying that price for it? Maybe if I had the money and the luxury to do it, yes. But like, I'm not going to save up, all year long to save $13,000 for 1 week of entertainment. Like that's because again, you're talking about $2,000 for seats and then maybe the airfare there, and I don't know if it includes hotel or whatever. But then like you got all the stuff for the whole week that you've got food, you've got everything else, and Vegas ain't cheap, baby.
You know what? If you get if it's 2,000 and it includes hotel and includes the flight, then maybe it's not so bad. But I don't think it includes any of that stuff. I think it just includes the event and that's it.
Yeah,
and maybe
I'm sure it probably doesn't. But I'm saying there's all packages to where they do include all that stuff. Those might be worth it in that way. But so
that is crazy. It's insane how much money WWE can make off of this.
My whole thing is value is what somebody will pay for it. If somebody's going to pay me $20,000 for my work, why am I going to take $5,000? You know what I'm saying? Like, would you?
No, man. I gotta be greedy, just like WWE is.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Just like the NFL, just like everybody.
It's everywhere.
Just like the Los Angeles Clippers. Look at the Yankees and the Dodgers. The tickets were skyrocketed, and now that the Yankees are about to get swept, it went down. And even the cheapest ticket was $826, bro. Well, and game 4.
Yeah. The worst part about this, Frankie, is this too. Las Vegas pays the WWE money to come to put WrestleMania on there.
Sean, we need to find a way to make a buku full of money, man. There's so much.
I'm working on a thing right now to where
there's so much money available out there. Jesus, we need to, guys, give us ideas. What can I do? What can Frankie do? That way I could go ahead and make baller money.
Sammy, we'll put Squared Circle Digest and Finn's TV together, and we'll do a package and go broadcast from WrestleMania.
It's not a bad idea, actually. Or maybe we could do a subscribers can
no doubt got 100% has hit it. In fact, WWE has an obligation to its shareholders to be greedy. Yeah. It comes down to that, man. They're publicly traded, man. You get the best bang for your buck. Man, shareholders.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. Like, if I had the money, yeah, of course. If anybody had the money, and they're obviously gonna do what you love. So you're gonna go.
If I got the money sitting on the side and it's not gonna put me in a hole, okay,
yeah, exactly.
But now, hell no, that's crazy.
That's mortgage. I could pay like a couple months of my mortgage with 20 grand. Jesus, man, I'm not paying all that. That's a lot. Maybe if I had my house paid and stuff like that, then maybe, yeah. But not right now, no.
All right, let's go to the final thing. Crown Jewel predictions.
Crown Jewel, baby.
It is time. WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defend against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson, and Io Sky and Kairi Sane. What say you, Frankie Fresco, on the 4-way match at Crown Jewel? Now remember, Crown Jewel, they cannot show any skin. I don't know if that's going to play into your pick or anything, but the women's have to be fully clothed. Remember that.
I actually like that in over there overseas that they can't show in Saudi Arabia because of their religion and stuff like that. Yeah, or their culture too. You know what? All right, let's break it down. So, um,
And by the way, in this match, they included NXT, SmackDown, and Raw.
yeah, that's cool. So I like that. So let's think about it. So Damage Control, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane. Right now, just don't feel it. I mean, they're battling there. They've been in NXT. They had a good fight there, but not feeling it. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven got involved in NXT last week as well. In that Io Sky fight. So I think that's why I like the way that they've included all of them in there. I just don't see Piper Niven and Chelsea, even though Chelsea Green's been a workhorse. Then you got the wild card, Last Legend and Jakar Jackson. That's who I want to win. If you want my honest opinion, because I'm an NXT guy. But at the end of the day, bro, I just don't see it happen. I got Jade Cargo and Bianca Belair winning this one.
My heart goes with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. If I was a betting man and I had to put money on it, it's going Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. But I don't have money on this stuff because I don't have money to go to WrestleMania. So maybe it's my way to get money to go to WrestleMania. So I'm going with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Don't say it like that.
I think it's going to be another one of those, like the way that Alba Fire and Isla Dawn won the match before. I think Jade's going to hit the finish, and Chelsea and Piper Niven's going to take her out. Chelsea Green scoops in for the cheap win. New tag team champions.
Hold on a second. Now you brought something up here. Do any of them have any type of ties to Saudi Arabia? Any of them? Do any of them have it? No, right? I don't think any of them have any ties. Okay, cool. Because if they had like if Chelsea Green had some type of ties, or Piper Niven, or maybe one of them had some type of ties, then yes, I would lean that way as well. But I still think Jade Carter and Bianca Belair win it because nobody has ties. I think the reason why Alba Phi
it was in her home country in front of her family. I know, and her mother just passed away, and her father just passed away. I can't remember. One of her parents, I believe, had just passed away. So it was a good story and all that. I don't. This is the only way you take the titles off of Bianca and Jade. You don't have anybody pin Bianca or Jade. They pin the other team. Is kind of how I see this. Like, and so that's kind of why.
Are you tired with your run?
Belair and Cargill, but I would love to see Chelsea and Piper win it just for what they've done. Now then, will they hold the titles long? Probably not, but I feel like they deserve a run with them for at least a little bit.
Chelsea Green has had a hell of a run, a workload right now, bro.
Hell of a workload.
So,
and again, you don't pin Jade or thing. I think you pin Kairi Sane probably is the one that gets pinned in this match. Regardless of who wins, I'm going to pick Kairi Sane gets pinned.
Okay. Oh, is that an extra bonus? What happened to our Ring of Death?
The Ring of Death, I got to spin it. I lost big time last time.
All right,
there's only like one pay-per-view, and I was like 2-7. You were 7-2.
Okay, so we got Bianca. I write Jade and Bianca, and you're gonna pick Chelsea.
I'm going Chelsea and Piper. I'm probably gonna regret it, but it is what it is.
And who gets pinned as a bonus?
Yep, Kairi Sane for me.
Kairi Sane. I'm gonna go on a limb, and I'm gonna say Chelsea Green gets pinned. All right. Next match, what we got?
I think you just told me to go F myself.
I did it. See, that's you're reading too much into it. I just feel Chelsea Green's been doing such a lot of workload, so it makes sense for her to get pinned because she's been doing a lot of workload and she's been.
When's the Tyson Paul fight?
Isn't it in November?
I was just wondering because like they just showed the reason I went quiet is because I was watching the build up to it and it said coming soon on Netflix. There's no date. It's just coming soon on Netflix. Like they're going to record it and put it out or something. I don't know. All right.
Let me see.
United States Championship. L.A. Knight or L.A. Knight or La Knight. That's how. If I was Vivian Garcia next time, I'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, here's La Knight. That's exactly how I'd introduce him.
How disrespectful. And the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul is November the 15th.
15th. Okay, cool.
At the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Wow.
Yeah. No,
are they really going to sell that many amount of tickets?
I don't know, but we'll see.
They're probably cheaper than WrestleMania, though.
Oh, yeah, probably. Jerry's probably giving them away. It's most people going to Cowboy Stadium. La Knight versus Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes. Man, this is going to be a great match. I just think LA Knight has got to keep the belt. I don't think he loses to Andrade or Carmelo Hayes. I just don't think. I think you're going to get a great showing from both, and then LA Knight gets the win.
This one's a tough one for me because I like LA Knight. I can never go against LA Knight, but it is a triple threat match, and this is a good way to get the title away from him.
Oh, you're using my stuff against me. Look at you.
So I like this. Now my question is Carmelo and Andrade strong enough to go ahead and get the belt away from LA Knight and then be able to kind of like either retain it for a while, or are they gonna keep flip-flopping it like they've been doing with the IC belt over there on the Raw side? Ah man, this was a tough one. But my gut instinct is saying that WWE is not sold a whole bunch on LA Knight. And I think they've been doing the 7 series matchup for a reason. I think they're gonna go ahead and give credit where credit is due. They're not gonna do. They're gonna they're gonna screw Chelsea Green over for her workload, but they're not gonna screw either Andrade or Carmelo. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I am pretty sure I'm gonna be wrong on this, but I'm gonna say Carmelo Hayes wins it. I think Carmelo Hayes wins this one.
I like it. Look. You know me with these. This is the best way to get a title off of a strong champion. You put them in a triple threat, a fatal 4-way, and they don't have to get pinned and stay strong. So, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. What say you, Frankie Fresco?
This one's see, this one is not so bad because in this one there's not enough storylines. It's not too predictable when it comes to this. So I like this match. Man, this one's a tough one, man. I like Randy a lot more than Kevin. Kevin has been beating up Randy a lot. Typically, when the baby is getting beat down, especially last time, it usually means he's going to get over. So I'm going to go and say Randy Orton wins this one.
See, my thing is to make it work, I feel like Kevin Owens has to win by cheating somehow. Whether Kevin Owens introduces a new friend or something like, I just feel like if Randy beats him that quick, this is over. KO, like to me, I feel like KO went heel to ultimately get to Cody Rhodes again.
they just fought.
Yeah, but he didn't deserve it then. Now he does. And I think he beats RO. It's KO over RO.
Okay.
Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. What say you, Frankie Fresco?
You know me, man. There's I've been going with a lot of babies. Obviously, Carmelo is a kind of like a heel, but I think I'm gonna be wrong on that one. But I'm not gonna be wrong with this one. I honestly feel that they're gonna continue this fight, and I think they're trying to get Bronson Reed over. I said Bronson Reed pulls the upset and he beats Seth Rollins.
Interesting. I say that Triple H Reed looked at the card and said, "Wait a minute, we've got 7 matches? That's way too many. Oh, let's have Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed take each other out on Raw. We'll knock the match off." I don't think the match happens at Crown Jewel.
Damn.
I don't think the wrestlers are cleared. I think they brawl to keep it going, but nobody is cleared to wrestle.
Wouldn't be that like an FU to the Saudi Arabia people though?
No. They'll have them come out there and be like a no contest type thing, so you get to see Seth or Bronson. Or who knows if they're even on the poster over there.
So you're not picking anybody. You're saying that the match won't.
I'm saying the match does not happen. If anybody wins the match, I lose.
Okay.
Because that match makes 7, and everybody knows Triple H does 6 or less.
Okay. Seems pretty straightforward.
Roman Reigns and the Usos. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Sorry. Forgot. That hasn't aired yet. Versus the Bloodline.
The Bloodline 2.0 needs to lose again because they just suck.
You know what would make this match better? Because again, if anybody knows how War Games works, you want to be the last person to enter. So you want to be the first person to enter so that you have the advantage for the 5 minutes leading up. This match should have had that stipulation. But then they would have already given away what the War Games match would be, I guess. So,
but here's my question to you. You said Paul Heyman is supposed to come up and Crown Jewel. So if
no,
Paul
no,
Heyman,
I said he should if they want him to show up at NXT. He's got to show up on Raw or Crown Jewel. Like, you're not going to bring back Paul Heyman at NXT, do you?
you probably won't even have
bring him involved in the storyline, and then he shows up at NXT at 2300. That's what I was trying to get at.
So then if you
On
bring
Wednesday,
him,
sorry.
if you bring, all right, so let's say if they do bring Paul Heyman because they want to eventually showcase him in NXT when they're in the ECW arena. I wish they would listen to me and they would make Paul Heyman a heel and join 2.0. But I don't see it happen, man. WWE just doesn't think about it. I got Roman, man.
The more you talk about it, though, that would be kind of another layer that where like, oh, okay. You know, the more I think about it, as you said it could bring another layer on it. The problem I have is if they do that and he brings Braun Breaker to the team, I like it. If they do that and it's like Lesnar or
I love it.
Or somebody like that, I'm not so much for it. Not so
Lesnar, CM Punk, bring them all, baby.
When you explain the part about the whole Braun Breaker and stuff, I mean, I could be sold on that if they do it that way. I just don't like, okay, let's turn on Roman Reigns and bring back Brock Lesnar.
Oh, Brock, yes, Brock. Dun it, yes.
Oh, if I hear that or Goldberg's theme, I'm going to freaking turn the TV off.
Who you got?
Like, I feel like the Bloodline 2.0 needs the win, and they've got to do something to where you throw in the whole thing like Roman Spears Jay by accident, but you throw the doubt in there of can they get along? Can they coexist? I feel like that needs to happen in this match, and then the Bloodline to win. I'm going to go to Bloodline.
2.0.
2.0.
Okay, just want to make sure. Bloodline 2.0.
Because also remember, and this is a spoiler alert because most of you have not watched it yet. On the Roman Reigns and Uso side, there's nobody better than the other. They're all on the same level. There's no tribal chief. They're all on the same level. It'll make more sense on SmackDown, but that's beside the point.
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry. Spoiler. WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Because not only do you got to carry one belt, but now you're going to have to carry this colossal belt. Nia Jax, Liv Morgan. What will happen? This is so interesting. Because I feel like there's going to be a whole lot of fluff in this match. I feel like Rhea Ripley's going to get involved against Liv. I feel like Bayley and Tiffany are going to get involved with Nia. The last time Jax was in Saudi Arabia, she won Queen of the Ring tournament. Could Nia Jax win the Crown Jewel Championship but lose her title on the same night?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Oh, what if? Oh my God. What would happen if Tiffany came down, cashes in, pins Liv or Nia, and she wins the Crown Jewel Championship?
You're really putting Tiffany over both of those girls.
Oh my God. Oh, Tiffy time, baby. Wow. I'm going to go Nia Jax in this one, I think.
Nia Jax.
Because I really think Liv Morgan is not going to allow... I'm sorry, Rhea Ripley is not going to allow Liv Morgan to win regardless. Like, I just don't think. But the Tiffany thing is in her, but that's a lot to do at Saudi. They usually don't have this many women's matches on the card, but
No, they really don't.
there's like 10 women's on this show.
I feel that Liv Morgan has absolutely no shot at beating Nia Jax. You last time asked predicted that Tiffany was gonna cash in her Money in the Bank,
I say it every show.
but I feel like they're still, they're gonna keep dragging that. I think it's not. I think this is one-off. These one-offs are for these belts, so they're only supposed to win it, and then after that, they kind of let go of them or something. So they'll probably like carry it for like a week or two, and then they get rid of it. I agree with you. I think Nia Jax wins this one. I don't see Liv Morgan beating Nia Jax, so I'm gonna go and agree with you, Nia Jax.
All right, the main event, or well, I guess it's gonna be the main event. Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the WWE Crown Jewel Championship.
In my opinion, this is probably gonna be. This should be the match that starts the pay-per-view. This should be the match that starts the pay-per-view, in my opinion. But I like Gunther a lot. Think Gunther is great.
Wait. So since you say that, which match do you say ends the pay-per-view then?
The Bloodline one.
Okay.
I just can't see Cody losing. I think Gunther's. This is one where it doesn't hurt Gunther to lose. I say Cody beats Gunther. I go with Cody.
Here's where it gets interesting. Now that you said that, I think this match might start the show.
Yeah.
Because I think what's going to happen is if Cody is the fifth guy, the Bloodline costs Cody this match. Solo, Jacob, Tamatonga, Tongaloa, whatever. And then Cody answers in the main event by helping out the Bloodline. That would make sense if he's going to be the fifth guy.
He is the fifth guy.
If he's not the fifth guy, then I feel like this ends the show. Or you could even end the show with this and Cody getting beat and the Bloodline standing over him outside while Gunther's holding the Crown Jewel Championship in the air.
No way.
I'm going Gunther.
Gunther. I like it. I feel that Cody, you know what? It's awesome that I went this route because you're right. You just pulled my story right here. If Cody wins. Well, no, then Gunther would win, and then Cody would win the OTC one. So, I don't know. I just can't see Cody losing. I think Cody, and not to Gunther. Gunther will get his shot eventually, but not this one.
I don't think he loses clean. I just think there's going to be a lot of shenanigans in this pay-per-view. Because to be honest, like I feel like this Bloodline Usos match doesn't need to be on here.
I agree.
Like, why are you giving it now? And then what? In 4 weeks, you're going to give it to us in a cage?
Well, remember, they gotta give us that match because, per your theory, they're gonna get rid of the Seth Rollins Bronson Reed match. So,
well, that's true. Yeah.
that's why.
Or could maybe you know what they might do? Nia Jax squash Liv Morgan in like 32 seconds. Then they could add the Seth Bronson in.
They could.
Because I feel like all these matches are going long. I mean, you've got a fatal 4-way tag team match. That match could go for a little while.
That will.
You got the triple threat match. That one could go for a little bit. Randy and Kevin could go.
Nah, that one could short.
No, but I'm saying, but they could go. Yes, you could cut it short. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying if it needed to go time, those two could get you time. And I mean, Roman and the Bloodline would be some time, but like I just feel like with the way the pay-per-views have been, it feels like there's a lot. There's 7 matches on here. Normally they do 6 or 5.
Yeah.
And then when you saw what they did on Monday Night Raw, Seth was taken to the hospital for precautionary reasons. I don't even know if they've been given an update on him. I haven't seen any updates on him, but
No updates. Seth Rollins.
I feel like this could be a match off of the card. Let me actually make sure that nothing's come out that's already eliminated.
Oh, spoilers! More spoilers.
More spoilers. We're just spoiling everything.
I like
We're gonna
it.
be called now the squared spoiler
Circle.
circle. There we
Skirt spoiler circle.
go. I don't know what else.
Well, yeah, I'm helping you out. That's what we're here for. I did hear there were people criticizing the fact that the way Seth Rollins was beating up on Bronson Reed was kind of like weak. That it was kind of like, people weren't sold on it.
Well, I mean, the dude, he took a curb stomp to the hood and then stood up.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
So it's like
he beat him, but he didn't, like, you couldn't put him down. I don't see anything that says, like, they've been. I thought the best video of Seth Rollins all week was when the Bears lost.
I saw that video.
Oh, that was so good.
You want to know what was the wait? You want to know what tops that though? You want to know what tops that video? Hulk Hogan trying to rip that shirt.
Oh, that was a good one too.
Hulk Hogan struggling. He couldn't rip that shirt. He was like,
You know what? The top 3 videos this week would be number 29 on the Bears before the snap, jawing at the crowd, and then running over, smacking the ball, and it landing in the commander's arms. Then, of course, Seth Rollins there, and then I guess Hogan ripping his shirt.
Hogan ripping the shirt was funny.
Crown Jewel, I believe, is starting at 2 p.m.
Yeah, it's early.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to catch the replay. I'm actually working.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
I'll be at the airport, so.
I'm not balling enough.
I'm going to Buffalo to watch the Dolphins play.
Enjoy that.
Oh,
How cold is it gonna be up there?
I don't know. I'm not taking a coat. I don't take a coat, man. Forget that stuff, bro.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I heard that you're like a grizzly bear up there, so.
I walk around in tank tops.
That's true. I'll never forget when we did that drive for CCW and you were like, man, can you put the AC higher? And I was like, man, I'm freezing in here. And you were like, hot. And I was like, man, damn. That was rough, man. That was cold. I was freezing my ass off. But
Yeah,
I was like,
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. This is the guy that's going to kick my ass. Him and Finn Sam against me, no doubt, in the 8 minutes. Yeah, okay.
Right, that it doesn't make any sense.
You better get damn chairs.
It doesn't make any sense.
Tables, ladders, and scares.
That wasn't a bad pay-per-view. It was a pretty decent pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. Every match kind of delivered. I was surprised at how Tony D'Angelo and Obafemi went. That was if I have to choose one of my favorite fights from that, I didn't think the Trick Williams Ethan Page match was that great. It was okay, and a lot of people booed them, bro. Did you see damn it! I'm sorry. I know we're gonna end the show, but did you see when they fucked up? Excuse my language. They messed up when Ethan Page was getting pinned by
No, that wasn't a mess up.
That was a mess up.
No, it wasn't. It was set up for the referee to put it. When he put his foot on the referee took a minute to remember that, and then he was like, "Oh, that's right, it's that match." And then he went to hit the 3, but by then Ethan Page was able to kick out. It was the referee having a lapse on what the rules of the match were.
They did that on purpose?
To allow Ethan to kick out of his finisher. Yes.
They did that on purpose?
Yes, because remember,
the crowd didn't act that way. The crowd acted like they started booing.
Yeah, because they played on the emotions of the crowd because the ropes don't in that type of match, the ropes don't in the thing.
Of course.
So he hits him with the finish. And then he goes to pin him, and it should have been a 1, 2, 3. But he goes 1, 2, and then he looks at the rope, and then he's like, "Oh wait!" And then it gave Ethan Page the chance to kick out of his finisher and roll outside.
Really, I thought that was a mess up. I thought they messed that up because I got the reaction of the crowd, and it looked like that match lost a little bit of steam after that because of that.
It probably did because again, it's one of those things to where. I feel like that whole match was really just to get to the end. To get to Bully Ray, to get to Ridge Holland, to get to that setup at the thing. Because, look, man, it's a Devil's Playground match. There wasn't a lot To me, there wasn't a lot. I thought
I
there was
mean,
more,
Damian Priest and
more
Bad Bunny
violence.
went more than
Yeah, I
those two
thought there was
guys.
more violence in the Ridge Holland Chase U match.
That
Honestly,
one was a good one.
yeah, but I thought there was more violence there than this Devil's Playground match. It was like, I mean,
Oh, I wanted Rich Holland or I wanted Andre Chase to pick one of them up and put them on the roof of the ambulance and do a power bomb on them on there. Oh man, that would have been great. I get rid of that stupid pumpkin that was on top of the ambulance and just do a power bomb on them or something, or a body slam or something. I would have done that, man. I was like, that's when I said to myself, damn, I wish I was a wrestler. I would have done that, but you know, damn it. It's a lot of things. I think one of the best matches was that one, the Obafemi, but the Obafemi Tony D'Angelo really delivered. I really enjoyed
yeah,
that match. That match was probably the best match out of for me. The best match out of the night was that match.
yeah. No, I thought all of them were okay. The Femi D'Angelo one I liked again because the violence and the way they used it too. It made sense. It wasn't like, oh, let's just throw through a table to do. You know what I'm saying? Like everything made sense to how. And then the ending, I thought was perfect. You had to hit him with the freaking crowbar and then through the table and then you pinned them. Like it makes them look stronger than just okay. You hit him with their thing. I mean, like it was cool the first time he did it because it surprised Obafemi and got the 1, 2, 3. Now you're not going to surprise them like that. So the way they did it was good, and I'm
No,
interested.
and they needed the whole family to help.
Yeah, no, yeah, because he took out the whole family, and then they came back to help. So
Yeah, and then did you that looked painful? The when he speared him and Obafemi fell on that ladder when he speared him and hit him right, and then he fell on that ladder, and it was like they both landed on that like half broken ladder that they had out there. That one was like holy crap! I don't know how he didn't how they didn't I when I see those type of things, I'm like, man, I don't know how those guys get bruised up like
that's
this
the
on
thing.
tomorrow.
No, he did. I guarantee you, they're feeling it and they're bruised up because there's no way. Yeah, you can take off like on the tables. They take away the the metal part table. They
Have
they
but they
removed
haven't been
that.
doing that recently though.
Oh, they removed that. Not the part on the legs, the part on the outside. They remove some of that, or they'll fix it to where it's already loose enough to where it'll bend. The problem that happens if you don't hit the table right, that part don't break, and then it goes right through your back. That's what happened to Bob Holly.
Oh yeah, I remember
That's why
that.
Bob Holly had to slash through his back because that metal stayed up, and you're 250 pounds coming through a table right through the metal. It's not gonna end well for you.
Yeah.
All right, Frankie Fresco, let them know where they can reach you at and also follow you and your shows.
All right, so guys, Frankie Fresco channel every Wednesday. Me and my brother have Let Me Talk to You. I know we've been slacking the last couple of weeks. It's just been busy with a lot of work, and obviously there's some stuff going on with my dog, so I'm trying to. Hopefully he gets better. We're working on it, taking him to the vet, see if he could get better. It's like it's been an issue, continuous issue the last couple of weeks, so it's been rough. And then I got a lot of work, so but we are gonna bring it tomorrow. The Let Me Talk to You at 8 o'clock. Me and my brother, we're gonna talk about the Dwayne Wade statue. We're gonna talk about obviously about the Miami Dolphins and how the Dolphins need to lose every single game. Um, Definitely gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about them winning. We're gonna preview Florida versus Georgia. We're also probably gonna preview Miami versus Duke. So we'll be talking again, and we'll talk NXT. We'll recap a little bit of what happened today on NXT, and obviously we'll get my brother's opinion on the pay per view if you got a chance to see it. But Let Me Talk to You 8 o'clock every Wednesday, Frankie Fresco channel, and if you want to follow me on all social media platforms, Fresco Music on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anything you need. And if you need a DJ, hit me up. I'm always available.
All right, and myself, you can follow me at Stanley Media _11 on X, and I'm at Stanley Media House everywhere else, and on YouTube, of course, the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody that's watched us on Facebook, on the Frankie Fresco YouTube channel, the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, on the Stanley Media House Twitch, and on the Stanley Media House X channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. Every Tuesday night, 7 8 o'clock, depending on the schedule. We go live right here, the Squared Circle Digest. He is the great Frankie Fresco. I'm Sean Stanley, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And in the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun, shine, state.